Overthinking is a form of self-torture. Most people don't even realize they're doing it. Looping through what-ifs, worst-case scenarios, and imaginary conversations that never actually happen. They confuse thinking with control. But the truth is brutal. The more you try to control everything, the more your mind controls you. But don't worry. This is about to change your life. What you're about to hear isn't just soothing background noise. It's ancient mental medicine. These 3 hours of Stoic wisdom are designed to interrupt the noise, challenge the spiral, and rewire the mind for clarity. The Stoics faced uncertainty, chaos, betrayal, and loss. And still, they learned how to let go of the need to control every outcome. They practiced stillness, not by avoiding life, but by seeing it clearly. As you fall asleep, their teachings will begin to soften the mental grip. Each thought will slow. Each worry will lose its urgency. And in its place, you'll feel a calm that doesn't come from answers, but from surrendering the questions. Tonight isn't just sleep. It's liberation from the noise inside your head. If you're ready to break free from overthinking and rediscover inner peace, comment below. I am ready to stop overthinking. Think and act. Imagine possessing the power to find inner peace and happiness regardless of the circumstances swirling around you. That's not just powerful, it's revolutionary. It's about taking control, not of the world, but of something far more important and absolutely within our reach, our own minds. Stoicism teaches us resilience, gratitude, and the art of living a fulfilled life. But this isn't just a history lesson. It's about you, your life today. It's about facing the chaos of our modern world without losing your cool. It's about finding calm in the storm and happiness in the simplest of things. It's about transforming your mornings from something you dread into a powerful launchpad for a day filled with purpose and joy. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by the noise of life, if you've ever struggled to find a moment's peace, or if you're just curious about how ancient wisdom can be your secret weapon in the 21st century, stick around. This might just be the video that changes everything for you. Let's dive into the Stoic strategies that can help us craft not just a morning routine, but a life filled with intention, resilience, and true happiness. I implore you to give your full attention to this video from start to finish. If you've made it here, you're not like everyone else. You're a standout, someone who seeks depth and wisdom. Your dedication to absorbing this content in full sets you apart even further. This might sound like a fancy term, but it's actually a beautifully simple concept that comes from Japan. Find your ikigai, discovering purpose in every morning. It's about discovering that sweet spot where your passions, skills, societal needs, and what you can be paid for all intersect. It's your unique reason for being. Imagine waking up each morning fueled by a clear purpose that excites you, something that makes the thought of hitting snooze just irrelevant. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just about enduring life's hardships with a stiff upper lip. He was deeply invested in the idea that we're all here to play our part, to contribute something meaningful. He urged us to approach each day as an opportunity to fulfill our role with integrity and passion. Now think about that in the context of ikigai. It's not just about finding what you love, it's about aligning it with what the world needs and what you're good at. That's where the magic happens. But how do you start uncovering your ikigai? It begins with some introspection. Ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What am I good at? What does the world need from me? What can I get paid for? It's okay if the answers don't come to you right away. This is about the journey, exploring different facets of your life and interests and seeing where they converge. This quest for your ikigai isn't just some fluffy, feel-good exercise. It's about setting the foundation for a life that's rich in meaning and satisfaction. When you align your daily actions with your deeper purpose, even the mundane tasks gain significance. Your relationships start to flourish because you're more present and engaged. Your creativity soars because you're aligned with your true passions. And overall happiness? Well, it becomes more of a constant companion than a fleeting visitor. So as you think about setting your alarm for tomorrow morning, consider what ikigai means for you. What could be so compelling that you'd leap out of bed, eager to start the day? Remember, this isn't about overnight transformation. It's a process, a gentle unfolding. And as Marcus Aurelius would remind us, it's about doing the work day by day with dedication and honor. Finding your ikigai isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's about embracing your role in the larger tapestry of life, contributing your unique thread to the ever-evolving human story. The ancient Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, were big on the idea that our actions should be purposeful, not just random acts thrown into the wind, but deliberate steps guided by our inner compass. Prepare the night before, setting the stage for success. This philosophy extends beautifully into how we prepare for the day ahead, starting the night before. Here's the deal. The quality of your morning begins with how you spend your evening. It's tempting to binge-watch your favorite series until the wee hours or scroll through social media until your eyes blur. But let's pause and consider how that sets you up for the next day. Your brain needs time to unwind, to process the day's events, and to recharge for what's ahead. That's where a solid pre-sleep routine comes into play. Imagine treating your evening routine with the same respect and intention as you would any other important aspect of your life. This isn't about rigid self-discipline that sucks the joy out of your evenings. It's about creating a space that supports your well-being and aligns with your goals for the next day. For instance, limiting screen time an hour before bed isn't about denying yourself relaxation. It's about giving your mind the cue that it's time to wind down, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up feeling refreshed. Planning a bit for the next day can also be a game changer. It could be as simple as jotting down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. This act alone sets a clear direction, ensuring you wake up with a sense of purpose. And here's where the Stoic mindset really shines. It's about acknowledging what's within our control and letting go of what's not. We might not be able to control every detail of our day, but we can certainly influence how we start it. And let's not forget about some deep breathing or meditation to calm the mind. This practice isn't just fluff. It's a powerful tool that signals to your body it's time to rest. Inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly helps reduce stress, lower your heart rate, and prepare your body for a deep, restorative sleep. It's like pressing the reset button, ensuring you wake up not just physically refreshed, but mentally and emotionally as well. In today's always-on world, this might sound like a Herculean task, but it's absolutely vital for setting the tone of your entire day. Picture this: the first moments of your morning, untainted by the digital clamor of emails, social media notifications, or the buzzing news cycle. It's just you, your thoughts, and the serene quiet of the dawn. That's not just refreshing, it's empowering. Marcus Aurelius was a strong advocate for living with intention and focus. He wasn't distracted by the notifications of ancient Rome. Avoid morning distractions, embracing serenity. And believe me, he had his share of distractions. Instead, he emphasized the importance of concentrating on the present moment and the task at hand. He knew something that's even more relevant today. The quality of your attention determines the quality of your life. So how do we apply this ancient wisdom in the modern age? First, it's about creating a morning space that's intentionally free from digital distractions. This isn't about shunning technology, but rather choosing not to let it dictate the start of your day. It's tempting to roll over and immediately check your phone, but that instantly puts you in a reactive state, responding to the demands and dramas of the external world. Instead, give yourself the gift of a peaceful start. Imagine dedicating the first hour of your day to activities that nourish your soul and sharpen your mind. Maybe it's reading, meditating, journaling, or simply enjoying a cup of coffee as you gaze out the window. This isn't wasted time. It's an investment in your well-being. By avoiding distractions, you're not just avoiding stress. You're actively creating a reservoir of peace and focus that you'll draw from throughout the day. Making the most of your mornings isn't about adding more to your to-do list. It's about subtracting the noise that doesn't serve you. It's about prioritizing what truly matters before the day's demands start pulling at your attention. This is where the Stoic practice of focusing on what's within your control comes into play. You might not be able to control the flood of emails waiting for you, but you can control how and when you choose to engage with them. So tomorrow, challenge yourself to start the day on your terms. Resist the urge to dive into the digital world first thing. Instead, anchor yourself in the present moment, savoring the peace and potential that the morning holds. Remember, every day is a new opportunity to live more intentionally, more serenely, and more in line with who you aspire to be. Let's make our mornings a testament to that ambition, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and the unwavering focus on what truly matters. Stoicism, at its core, is about understanding what is within our control and acting with virtue and intention in those areas. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. These guys weren't just talking about enduring life's hardships with a stiff upper lip. They were advocating for a proactive, wake up consistently, the power of routine engagement with life, taking charge of our actions and our mindset. Waking up consistently is a practice that embodies this philosophy. It's a declaration that we are in control of how we start our day, that we are not at the mercy of whims or external pressures. Building a life, as Stoicism suggests, step by step, with contentment in each action, is a powerful concept. It reminds us that big changes start with small, consistent actions. Waking up at the same time each morning might seem like a small thing, but it's a cornerstone habit that sets the stage for everything else. It's about creating a stable foundation for your day, where you're not rushing from the moment you open your eyes, but rather starting with a sense of control and purpose. But here's the thing. Consistency is challenging. It's supposed to be. The early days of trying to wake up at the same time each morning can feel like an uphill battle. Your bed feels more comfortable than ever, and the temptation to hit snooze just one more time can feel irresistible. This is where the Stoic practice of perseverance comes in. It's about reminding yourself why you're doing this, about the person you're becoming through this discipline. It's about seeing beyond the immediate comfort and focusing on the long-term benefits this habit will bring into your life. Becoming a morning person, then, is not just about the mornings themselves. It's about embodying the qualities that make you resilient, focused, and intentional throughout your day. It's a practice in self-mastery, in aligning your actions with your values, and in cultivating the kind of life you want to live, one morning at a time. So how do we make consistency our ally? Start by setting a clear intention the night before. Remind yourself why waking up at a specific time is important to you. Is it to have more quiet time in the morning for reading or meditation? Is it to exercise or simply to start your day in a more relaxed and controlled manner? Then create an environment that supports this habit. Maybe it's going to bed a bit earlier to ensure you get enough sleep, or keeping your curtains slightly open to let the natural light wake you up gently. And when it gets tough, remember the Stoic belief in the power of our own will and the importance of acting according to our principles. Each morning that you wake up at your chosen time, you're not just starting your day, you're reinforcing a commitment to yourself, to your growth, and to living a life of intention and purpose. Take it easy, embracing self-compassion. Amidst all this talk of discipline, consistency, and waking up with the sun, it's paramount to remember one thing: we're human. And being human means we're beautifully complex creatures with brains that often prefer the path of least resistance, the instant gratification route. This is precisely why embarking on new habits, like transforming our mornings, can initially feel like an uphill battle. Yet there's something incredibly freeing in acknowledging this fact. It's not a flaw, it's just part of the human experience. Now, let's channel some Stoicism into this concept. Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-compassion and understanding alongside its calls for discipline and resilience. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, often reminded himself to be patient and forgiving with his own shortcomings. He knew that berating oneself for every slip-up was not the path to growth. Instead, he advocated for recognizing our errors, learning from them, and then letting them go. This approach is crucial when we're trying to cultivate new morning routines, or any habit for that matter. Those first few days or even weeks can be tough. Your alarm goes off, and every fiber of your being wants to stay cocooned in the warmth of your bed. And let's be honest, there will be days when you'll give in to that desire. That's okay. The key is what you do next. Do you beat yourself up, spiraling into a cycle of guilt and self-criticism? Or do you take a breath, forgive yourself, and see the next morning as a fresh opportunity to try again? Forgiveness and patience with ourselves are not signs of weakness. They're indicators of strength and wisdom. They mean we're in it for the long haul, ready to navigate the ups and downs with grace. This Stoic practice of self-compassion is about understanding our nature, working with it, and gently nudging ourselves towards the habits and life we aspire to. Moreover, taking it easy isn't about making excuses or allowing ourselves to perpetually fall short of our goals. It's about recognizing that growth is a process, filled with learning curves and setbacks. It's about understanding that each new day brings with it a new set of challenges and opportunities, and it's in this daily renewal that we find our strength and resilience. So as you work on embracing those early mornings, or any new habit, remember to take it easy on yourself. Celebrate the small victories, learn from the setbacks, and approach each day with a heart ready to try again. Small acts of discipline, building a virtuous life. This isn't just about becoming a morning person. It's about cultivating a mindset that's prepared to face life's challenges with a blend of determination and kindness. Consider the simple act of placing your alarm clock across the room. It's not just about making it physically harder to snooze. It's a statement. It's a commitment to start the day on your terms, to rise despite the comfort of the bed's embrace. It's a small act of defense against the inertia of sleep and comfort, a step towards embracing the day with intention. Similarly, making your bed each morning might feel like a trivial task, especially when you're the only one who'll see it. Yet it's so much more than smoothing sheets and fluffing pillows. It's an exercise in care, in telling yourself that your environment and how you engage with it matters. It's about creating a space that reflects the order and respect you're cultivating within yourself. These small victories, as Marcus Aurelius would likely argue, are the building blocks of a disciplined life. They're the everyday choices that, while easy to overlook, cumulatively mold our character. Each time you choose to do these little things, you're casting a vote for the type of person you want to be. You're choosing to be someone who values discipline, order, and respect for oneself and one's environment. But why focus on these small acts? Because they're within everyone's reach. Not all of us can control the major events in our lives, the upheavals, the unexpected turns, but we can control how we respond to the start of each day, how we treat our immediate surroundings, and how we prime ourselves for whatever lies ahead. This is Stoicism in action, focusing on what's in our power to control and letting go of what isn't. Moreover, these practices aren't just about building discipline for discipline's sake. They're about cultivating a mindset that's prepared for life's bigger challenges. If you can commit to these small acts of discipline, you're training yourself to uphold your commitments in more significant areas. You're sharpening your ability to follow through, to remain steady in the face of adversity, and to approach life with a calm, collected demeanor, qualities that define the Stoic ideal. So as you consider the role of discipline in your life, start small. Look for those everyday opportunities to practice self-control and order. Remember, it's in these moments, in the quiet of the morning, when you decide to rise and face the day with intention, that your character is forged. Accountability partners, sharing the journey. These practices are not just chores or tasks, they're rituals, imbuing your day with purpose and your life with a sense of direction and meaning. The idea here is simple, yet profoundly impactful. Sharing your goals with someone who not only supports you but also holds you accountable can significantly amplify your chances of success. It transforms a personal journey into a shared adventure, making the path to fulfilling your morning routine and ultimately your life's purpose less daunting and more enjoyable. Think of your accountability partner as your ally in the pursuit of self-improvement. This person is there to remind you of your commitments when the warmth of your bed feels too comforting to leave in the early hours. They're there to encourage you when progress seems slow and to celebrate your victories, no matter how small. This relationship is a two-way street. It's about mutual support and encouragement, grounded in the understanding that we're all striving to be the best versions of ourselves. The Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, often emphasize the importance of community and relationships in the development of character and virtue. They believed in the power of wisdom shared, in learning from one another, and in the strength that comes from knowing you're not alone in your struggles. Finding an accountability partner in today's world is a nod to this timeless wisdom, recognizing that while the journey towards self-discipline and purpose is personal, it need not be solitary. Moreover, an accountability partner can help you see blind spots in your routine or approach that you might miss on your own. They can offer new perspectives and insights that can catalyze your growth in unexpected ways. This partnership is about more than just checking in to see if you woke up on time or followed through on your morning meditation. It's about engaging in meaningful dialogue about what's working, what isn't, and how you can both support each other in making adjustments. So how do you find this accountability partner? Look for someone who shares your commitment to growth and self-improvement. This could be a friend, a family member, or even a colleague. The key is to choose someone you trust, someone with whom you can be open and honest about your goals, struggles, and successes. Once you've found that person, be clear about what you're hoping to achieve and what kind of support you need. Set regular check-ins and be there for each other, offering encouragement, advice, and, when necessary, a gentle nudge back on track. Memento mori, remembering the value of every day. Remember, finding an accountability partner is about more than just external motivation. It's about building a relationship that inspires and uplifts both of you. It's about creating a shared space where honesty, vulnerability, and mutual support are valued and nurtured. In this space, your morning routines and broader life goals become intertwined in a collective effort towards living a more intentional, disciplined, and fulfilling life. The Stoic practice of reflecting on mortality is a call to action, a prompt to live our lives with purpose and intention. It encourages us not to squander our time on trivialities, but to concentrate on creating a meaningful legacy. Every morning when we wake up, we're presented with a fresh opportunity to engage with life in a meaningful way, to contribute positively to the world around us, and to pursue personal growth and fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often wrote about the fleeting nature of life, emphasizing the importance of living virtuously and making the most of the time we have. This wasn't meant to be somber. Rather, it was a liberating realization that freed him from petty concerns and allowed him to focus on his duties as emperor and as a human being striving for virtue. The idea is that by keeping the end in mind, we're more likely to live our lives with purpose and clarity, prioritizing the things and relationships that truly matter. Remembering death, in the context of our morning routines, transforms how we approach each day. It's not just another day. It's a day that we've been gifted, one that's not guaranteed to anyone. This realization can profoundly impact how we choose to spend our time, the activities we engage in, the relationships we nurture, and the legacy we strive to build. It's a reminder to live fully, to love deeply, and to leave the world a little better than we found it. Moreover, this Stoic practice helps us maintain perspective in the face of life's inevitable challenges and setbacks. When we remember that our time is limited, the daily annoyances and obstacles lose much of their power over us. We become more resilient, more focused on our long-term goals, and less likely to be derailed by temporary difficulties. It's a practice that fosters gratitude for the present moment and inspires us to make the most of it. So how can we incorporate this Stoic principle into our daily lives? It begins with a moment of reflection. Practice negative visualization, preparing for challenges. Each morning, consider the day ahead as a blank canvas, an opportunity to contribute positively to your life story and to those around you. Ask yourself, if this were my last day, would I be proud of how I'm choosing to spend it? This doesn't mean living in a constant state of existential crisis, but rather cultivating a deep appreciation for the now. for the opportunity to live, learn, and love. In embracing the Stoic practice of remembering death, we're not focusing on the end, but on the present and how we choose to live each day. It's a powerful antidote to complacency and a reminder to live our lives with intention, purpose, and gratitude. So let's greet each morning with the awareness that it is a gift, an opportunity to craft a life that's rich in meaning and aligned with our deepest values. This is the essence of living stoically, of making the most of our finite time in this world to create a legacy that endures. We're often told to focus on the positive, to visualize success and happiness in order to attract them into our lives. However, the Stoics, in their profound wisdom, offer a different perspective that's not only practical, but incredibly empowering. Negative visualization isn't about pessimism. Rather, it's a tool for resilience, preparation, and ultimately, greater appreciation of the present. The essence of this practice is to periodically imagine the challenges, losses, or difficulties you might face in life. This could range from minor inconveniences like a missed bus or a rainy day, to more significant hardships such as the loss of a job or a loved one. The purpose isn't to dwell on these scenarios in a way that breeds fear or anxiety, but to mentally rehearse how you would cope with such situations should they arise. This process of visualization prepares you emotionally and mentally, making you less susceptible to being thrown off course by life's inevitable ups and downs. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, they all believed that by contemplating the temporary nature of everything outside our control, we could cultivate a deeper sense of peace and resilience. This practice encourages us to focus on what we can control: our responses, our attitudes, and our actions. Incorporating negative visualization into your morning routine can transform how you approach your day. Instead of stepping out the door blind to the potential challenges ahead, you're mentally equipped to face them. End with gratitude, reflecting on the day's gifts. It's like a mental training session where you strengthen your resilience muscles. So when life inevitably throws a curveball your way, you're not knocked off your feet. You've already rehearsed this moment in your mind and can draw upon your pre-visualized strategies to navigate through it. Moreover, this practice has a beautiful, somewhat paradoxical effect. It enhances our gratitude for the present moment. By imagining life without some of the things we take for granted, we come back to reality with a renewed appreciation for them. It's a reminder of how much we have to be thankful for right now, in this moment. This isn't about dwelling in fear of loss, but about using the thought of it to deepen our appreciation for the here and now. So how do we practice negative visualization in a healthy, constructive way? Start with a few moments in the morning to contemplate potential challenges of the day or broader future possibilities. Visualize how you would ideally respond, what strengths you would draw upon, what lessons you could learn, and how you could grow from the experience. Then let go of the visualization and proceed with your day, carrying with you a sense of preparedness and an enhanced appreciation for your current circumstances. Incorporating gratitude into our lives, especially as we end our day, can have a transformative impact on our well-being and outlook. Keeping a gratitude journal is a beautifully simple yet profoundly effective way to cultivate this sense of appreciation. It's about taking a few moments before we sleep to reflect on the day and jot down a few things we're grateful for. This could be anything from a kind gesture from a stranger, a beautiful sunset, the completion of a challenging task, or simply the comfort of our bed, waiting to embrace us at the end of a long day. The act of writing down what we're grateful for shifts our focus from what's lacking in our lives to the abundance that's already present. It's a practice that aligns perfectly with Stoic teachings, which emphasize focusing on what we have rather than what we don't, on what's within our control rather than what isn't. This shift in perspective not only sets the stage for a peaceful night's sleep, free from the turmoil of unfulfilled desires or lingering frustrations, but it also primes our minds to begin the next day with a sense of purpose and appreciation. But why end the day with gratitude? Because it allows us to close our day on a note of positivity, regardless of the challenges we may have faced. It's a way of reaffirming the good in our lives, of finding peace even in turmoil, and of nurturing a mindset that sees opportunities for growth and joy in every circumstance. This nightly practice of gratitude creates a ripple effect, influencing not just how we sleep, but how we wake up and approach our mornings. It transforms our first thoughts of the day from groans over the alarm clock to a quiet anticipation of what the new day holds, what new things we might discover to be grateful for. Moreover, this practice of appreciating our life extends beyond our personal sphere. It enhances our relationships as we become more attuned to the value of those around us and more expressive of our appreciation for their presence in our lives. It deepens our connection to the world as we become more observant of and thankful for the beauty and wonder that surround us, often in the most mundane moments. So as we consider the multitude of strategies to enrich our mornings and, by extension, our lives, let's not overlook the power of ending our day with gratitude. It's a practice that embodies the Stoic pursuit of a good life, one marked not by external achievements or material possessions, but by inner peace, contentment, and a deep-seated appreciation for the present moment. As we wrap up this journey through the 10 strategies inspired by Stoicism, it's clear that each step, each practice, is more than just a task. It's a pathway to cultivating a life of intention, resilience, and profound gratitude. Embracing these practices doesn't mean every day will be perfect, but it does mean that every day will be met with a stronger, more grateful, and more resilient you. You have within you the power to transform not just your mornings, but your entire life into a reflection of the Stoic ideals of virtue, wisdom, and contentment. Remember, this is just the beginning. There's a whole world of Stoic wisdom waiting to be explored, ready to guide you on your path to living a more meaningful and fulfilled life. If you found this journey enlightening and are curious to dive deeper into the Stoic way of life, I encourage you to check out our playlist right here on the screen. It's packed with insights, stories, and practical tips to help you embrace the full richness of Stoic philosophy. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content. Please leave your comments and share your experiences. Let's embark on this journey of growth, resilience, and fulfillment together. Here's to mornings filled with purpose, days lived with intention, and a life brimming with gratitude. Imagine being able to stay calm and collected in the middle of a traffic jam, facing a difficult conversation with your boss, or even dealing with a personal crisis. This is the power of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has helped people for centuries to live happier and more fulfilling lives. Stoicism teaches us that the only thing we can truly control is our own thoughts and actions. Everything else, from the weather to the economy to the behavior of others, is outside of our control. By accepting this reality, we can free ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that comes from trying to control things that are outside of our reach. Stoicism also teaches us to focus on what we can control, which is our own character and our actions. By striving to live a virtuous life, we can create a sense of inner peace and contentment that is not dependent on external circumstances. In this video, we'll explore 10 profound lessons from Stoicism that can help you achieve inner peace and mastery over your emotions. Join us on this journey of self-discovery as we explore the ancient wisdom of Stoicism and learn how to apply it to our modern lives. Lesson number 1. Embrace what you can control. Epictetus, the Stoic sage, offers us a fundamental lesson that serves as the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, the dichotomy of control. At the heart of this teaching is the recognition that our lives are subject to a fundamental division between elements we can control and those beyond our influence. This concept is pivotal in cultivating a calm and composed demeanor, even in the midst of life's uncertainties. In essence, Epictetus advises us to invest our energy and attention in those aspects of life that fall within our sphere of control. These include our thoughts, actions, intentions, and responses. By directing our focus to what is genuinely within our power, we can navigate life with a sense of purpose and mastery. It is the acknowledgement that our internal world is under our dominion that forms the bedrock of our tranquility. Conversely, external events and circumstances, which often elude our sway, are to be acknowledged as outside the realm of our control. Just as an archer, as exemplified by Epictetus, can aim carefully, draw the bowstring with precision, and release the arrow skillfully, yet remain uncertain of the flight's outcome, we must learn to release our attachment to outcomes we cannot govern. This release is not an act of resignation, but an embrace of equanimity in the face of life's inherent unpredictability. Epictetus's metaphor of the archer, who derives contentment from knowing they've exerted their best effort regardless of the target's fate, serves as a potent reminder of the Stoic approach to life. It encourages us to concentrate on our intentions and the dedicated efforts we put forth, accepting that the results are subject to a multitude of external factors. In essence, Stoicism reminds us to seize the reins of our inner world, embracing the dichotomy of control as a powerful tool to maintain a calm and composed disposition in a world where much remains beyond our influence. By concentrating our energies on what we can shape, we free ourselves from the burden of attempting to govern the uncontrollable, allowing us to discover serenity in the knowledge that we've done our utmost with the tools at our disposal. Lesson number 2. The power of acceptance. In the grand tapestry of Stoic philosophy, few figures stand as tall as the Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius. His profound insights, often chiseled in the timeless monument of Meditations, resonate through the ages and illuminate one of the most powerful lessons in Stoicism, the lesson of acceptance. Marcus Aurelius guides us through a profound exploration of the human condition, acknowledging the inevitability of both triumph and tribulation. Life, as he observes, is a symphony of ups and downs, a constant ebb and flow. Within this ever-shifting landscape, there exist circumstances beyond our influence, elements we cannot control. Marcus Aurelius, in his role as a Stoic sage, extols the virtue of accepting these immutable truths. To accept, in the Stoic sense, is to embrace the reality of life's unpredictability and impermanence. It is to release the chains of attachment to specific outcomes and to walk in harmony with the unceasing rhythm of the universe. In Marcus Aurelius's words, resistance to the natural course of events leads only to turmoil and distress, like a ship struggling against the relentless current. The Stoic perspective on acceptance is akin to setting sail on the sea of existence without a fixed destination, yet with an unwavering faith in the voyage itself. It is an invitation to relinquish the desire for unyielding control and instead flow with the ever-changing stream of life. To dance with the music of the cosmos, whether its notes are serene or tempestuous, is the embodiment of Stoic temperance. In the realm of Stoicism, this lesson forms the bedrock of inner peace and tranquility. It urges us to open our arms to life's capriciousness, to savor the sweetness of success, and to weather the storms of adversity with grace. The power of acceptance, as illuminated by Marcus Aurelius, is a beacon that guides us through the labyrinth of existence, allowing us to greet each moment, each circumstance, with an equanimous heart. It is the serenity of embracing life in all its unpredictability, finding profound serenity in the midst of its ever-shifting landscape. Lesson number 3. Practice mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. Seneca, the venerable Stoic philosopher whose wisdom has transcended the ages, illuminates a crucial lesson for those seeking calm and composure in the midst of life's tempests. The practice of mindfulness. In the Stoic lexicon, mindfulness is a compass guiding us to the shores of the present moment, offering sanctuary from the ceaseless turbulence of past regrets and future uncertainties. In its essence, mindfulness is the art of inhabiting the now, of immersing oneself in the present moment with profound awareness. It is the antidote to the affliction of rumination, the ceaseless churning of the mind over past sorrows and future anxieties. Seneca's Stoic teachings beckon us to pay homage to the beauty and profundity of the present, recognizing that it is the only time that holds genuine existence. The practice of mindfulness, as outlined by Seneca, is not confined to the extraordinary moments of life, but extends its embrace to the ordinary and mundane. It encourages us to witness life's tapestry with a keen eye, from the remarkable to the seemingly inconsequential. In doing so, we detach ourselves from the tormenting clutches of regret and the paralyzing grip of worry. This Stoic mindfulness, a precious tool for preserving inner calm and clarity, acts as a bridge to the precious now, connecting us to the profound simplicity of the present. It is an art that grants us the ability to fully engage with our current circumstances, to savor each breath, and to relish the beauty that unfolds in every heartbeat. In the practice of mindfulness, we discover a timeless sanctuary where the mind finds solace, a place where inner tranquility is nurtured and composure is cultivated amidst the swirling tides of existence. Lesson number 4. Cultivate resilience. Resilience. In the vast landscape of Stoic wisdom, the lessons of resilience echo as a resounding anthem. And it is Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher par excellence, who raises his voice to teach us the profound art of confronting adversity with unwavering fortitude. To Epictetus, adversity is not a foe to be feared, but a chisel that sculpts the masterpiece of our character. Stoicism, with its roots deep in the natural order of life, imparts the fundamental truth that challenges are the warp and weft of existence. Stoics, embodying this wisdom, do not perceive adversity as an obstacle or a source of suffering, but rather as an opportunity, a crucible that tempers and refines their inner metal. Epictetus beckons us not to wilt before the storms of life, but to stand steadfast, like the unyielding oak, unshaken by the tempest. The essence of this Stoic perspective lies in the profound realization that it is not the events themselves, but our judgments, reactions, and the choices we make in the face of adversity that hold the power to distress us. It is the lens through which we view life's trials that shapes our inner tranquility. To cultivate resilience in the Stoic vein is to walk the path of personal development, and to recognize adversity not as a scourge, but as a tutor. Stoicism teaches us that in the crucible of hardship, we discover the true extent of our strength, and it is through facing life's tribulations with courage and unwavering resilience that we emerge like tempered steel, with a character fortified by the trials we have endured. The Stoic perspective on adversity harmonizes seamlessly with the Stoic belief in the sovereignty of choice. Epictetus, in his sagacity, urges us to confront challenges not with trepidation, but with the valor of a warrior, for it is through our responses to external events that we preserve the sanctity of our inner calm and composure. It is the gift of resilience that allows Stoics to navigate life's tempestuous seas with an unswerving gaze, unwavering even in the face of the most turbulent storms. Lesson number 5. Choose your response. Choose your response. Epictetus, the venerable Stoic sage whose wisdom has traversed the annals of time, bequeaths to us a profound lesson of immeasurable value, the power of choice in our responses. Within the Stoic philosophy, this lesson stands as an indomitable pillar, a lighthouse guiding us through the tumultuous seas of existence. Epictetus, with unwavering conviction, imparts the truth that while the tides of external events may remain beyond our dominion, the helm of our responses is firmly within our grasp. This, he proclaims, is the essence of Stoic wisdom. In the Stoic sanctum, wherein calm and composure reign supreme, the locus of control is resolutely internal. Stoicism, a philosophy grounded in profound self-mastery, extols the sovereignty of our responses to life's multifarious challenges. It is in this sacred space that the Stoic virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance serve as guiding stars, illuminating the path to maintaining inner tranquility. Epictetus, with his sage counsel, invites us to contemplate the nature of our judgments and reactions, particularly in the crucible of adversity. It is through this introspection that we awaken to the profound truth that we possess the sacred gift of choice, the ability to consciously craft our responses to the myriad external events that unfold in our lives. The Stoic approach to responding sagely to life's vicissitudes is akin to a masterstroke on the canvas of existence. It is the choice to align our responses with the Stoic virtues, to confront life's tribulations with the wisdom of sages, the courage of heroes, the justice of righteous hearts, and the temperance of those who tread the path of inner mastery. The Stoic's arsenal, laden with the wisdom of Epictetus, is a bastion of inner peace, impervious even to the fiercest storms. Through conscious choice and alignment with Stoic virtues, we forge a shield that preserves our serenity in the face of adversity. It is the Stoic's clarion call to navigate the labyrinthian corridors of life with grace and resilience, for in the crucible of conscious choice, we find the crucible of enduring inner peace. Lesson number 6. Limit excessive desires. In the illustrious tapestry of Stoic wisdom, woven with threads of reason and virtue, Seneca's counsel on the Stoic principle of moderation stands as a masterpiece in itself. A sage known for his profound philosophical essays on virtue and personal development, Seneca extends to us a lesson of paramount importance, a lesson that beckons us to curb the tempestuous desires that often threaten to engulf our inner calm. At the heart of Stoicism lies the belief that excessive desires, like turbulent seas, have the power to cast our lives adrift, leaving us in a perpetual state of turmoil and discontent. The Stoic sages, in their unwavering pursuit of inner tranquility, recognized the perils of unbridled longing for wealth, status, and material possessions far beyond what is necessary for a life of virtue and wisdom. Seneca, echoing the Stoic sentiment, imparts his wisdom, rooted in the belief that authentic contentment finds its dwelling in the sanctuary of limited desires. It is a lesson that encourages us to navigate the labyrinthine corridors of existence with the rudder of moderation, guiding us toward the tranquil harbor of inner peace. The Stoic path, as illuminated by Seneca's wisdom, beckons us to simplify our desires, seeking only that which is requisite for a life marked by goodness and virtue. In this simplification, we unearth the precious gems of contentment and tranquility, independent of the capricious winds of external fortune. The Stoic practice of limiting excessive desires becomes the lodestar, ensuring the maintenance of a calm and composed disposition. It is within the walls of this ancient wisdom that we discover the profound truth that the fervent pursuit of external treasures is but a fleeting mirage, and the true treasures lie within, waiting to be unearthed. Seneca's teachings stand as an enduring testament to the Stoic commitment to inner mastery and the temperance of desires, forging a path that leads to the sacred sanctuary of inner calm. Lesson number 7. Be virtuous. The essence of Stoicism, as nurtured and cherished by the great Stoic philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, resides in the unwavering commitment to virtue, a commitment that lies at the very heart of this ancient philosophy. The Stoic virtues, comprising wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, become the compass guiding us toward a life marked by inner composure and tranquility. In the rich tapestry of Stoic wisdom, the virtues occupy a hallowed place. They are the moral lodestars that beckon us to navigate life's tempestuous seas with grace and wisdom. These virtues, etched into the annals of Stoic thought, are not mere abstractions. They are the pillars upon which the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with the natural order of the universe rests. Wisdom, the first of these virtues, serves as a beacon of light, illuminating the path of reason and discernment. It calls upon us to cultivate a deep understanding of the world and our place within it. The Stoic sages, such as Epictetus, understood that wisdom is the foundation upon which all other virtues are built. With wisdom as our guiding star, we gain the capacity to see the world as it truly is and to discern between the fleeting and the enduring. Courage, the second virtue, stands as the sentinel guarding the fortress of our moral character. It calls upon us to face life's challenges with steadfastness and resolve. In the Stoic lexicon, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. It is the unwavering determination to confront adversity with inner fortitude. Seneca, through his teachings, extols the importance of courage in forging a character marked by resilience and unwavering resolve. Justice, the third virtue, extends its mantle of righteousness over the Stoic path. It beckons us to live in accordance with the principles of fairness and moral rightness. The Stoic philosophers, drawing inspiration from the wellsprings of justice, guide us toward making decisions that are rooted in equity and virtue. The pursuit of justice ensures that our actions align with the moral order of the universe, fostering inner tranquility and composure. Temperance, the final virtue, serves as the guardian of moderation and self-restraint. It reminds us to exercise control over our desires, for it is through temperance that we discover the gateway to true contentment. Seneca, in his philosophical essays, emphasizes the importance of simplifying our desires and seeking only that which is essential for a virtuous life. In the temperance of desires, we uncover the wellspring of inner calm, irrespective of external circumstances. These virtues, championed by various Stoic philosophers, converge to shape a life that exemplifies the Stoic ideal. They serve as the lodestar, guiding us through life's turbulent seas with grace, wisdom, and unshakable inner peace. By adhering to these virtues and allowing them to permeate our thoughts and actions, we maintain a calm and composed disposition, reflecting the Stoic commitment to inner harmony and ethical living. In the mosaic of Stoicism, the virtues are the vibrant colors that compose the image of a life lived in harmony with the eternal truth of the cosmos. Lesson number 8. Understand the transitory nature of life. The transitory nature of life, in the profound and timeless verses of his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, delves into the essence of life, a life imbued with transience. His teachings are a testament to the wisdom that accepting the ever-changing nature of existence is a cornerstone for maintaining a calm and composed demeanor. Through the lens of Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius imparts a lesson that is perhaps one of the most pivotal for achieving inner serenity. He invites us to embark on a philosophical journey that involves acknowledging the ephemeral and transient aspects of life. The Stoic recognition of this reality, often referred to as the transitory nature of life, is not a harbinger of despair. Rather, it serves as a cornerstone of strength that can lend profundity to our existence. The core of this lesson is the understanding that nothing in the realm of human experience, be it the moments of joy or the trials of adversity, is immutable. The universe, in its eternal ebb and flow, weaves a tapestry of constant change. The Stoic sage does not resist this cosmic dance, but chooses to waltz in harmony with it, with grace and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius urges us to unburden ourselves from the weight of attachments to those fleeting moments that shimmer like stars across the night sky, and to the material possessions that hold our attention for but a brief interlude. He teaches us to appreciate these moments and possessions as they come into our lives, but also to let them go when the time for departure arrives. In doing so, we unearth an inner sanctuary of calm and composure, impervious to the external tempests. Accepting the impermanence of all things, as championed by Marcus Aurelius, acts as a salve for the soul. It allows us to put into perspective the vicissitudes of life. It liberates us from the bondage of anxiety that stems from clutching onto what was or what might have been. Through this Stoic teaching, we become the architects of our inner fortitude, crafting a character marked by resilience in the face of life's inevitable changes. In understanding the transitory nature of life, we pave the way for a profound sense of inner tranquility. We recognize that our capacity for calm and composure transcends the rise and fall of external circumstances. It is an enduring presence, much like the stars that continue to shimmer in the night sky, irrespective of the fleeting clouds that pass before them. Marcus Aurelius, through his Stoic wisdom, invites us to bask in the light of this understanding, offering us the opportunity to savor life's moments while retaining an unwavering sense of inner peace. Lesson number 9. The value of gratitude. In the profound tapestry of Stoic philosophy, woven with threads of wisdom and resilience, there exists a gem that sparkles with profound insight: the value of gratitude. This lesson, championed by Seneca, one of Stoicism's eminent philosophers, illuminates the path to inner calm and contentment, irrespective of life's challenges. It guides us to celebrate not only life's triumphs, but also its tribulations, for it is through the lens of gratitude that we find serenity even in the face of adversity. Seneca, in his essays dedicated to the concept of gratitude, masterfully extolled its virtues. He beckoned us to redirect our gaze from what we may lack to what we have, to find solace in the present moment, and to embrace the treasures that often go unnoticed. In this Stoic practice, we unearth a potent tool for sustaining a profound sense of inner peace. The core of Seneca's teachings on gratitude is a gentle reminder that the act of being thankful is not contingent on the abundance of our possessions, but rather on our ability to perceive life's blessings in their myriad forms. In this sense, gratitude is not a mere response to life's easy moments, but a profound acknowledgement that even amidst the tempest's fury, there is a shelter of calm to be found. By cultivating a sense of gratitude, we recalibrate our relationship with life. We learn to see the splendor in the ordinary, the lesson within adversity, and the preciousness of every fleeting moment. Seneca encourages us to be content with the present, recognizing that the treasures of life are not commodities to be acquired, but experiences to be cherished. The value of gratitude, as illuminated by Seneca, acts as a guardian of our inner peace. It teaches us to ceaselessly reflect on the blessings that have graced our journey. In doing so, we discover that gratitude is an elixir that transmutes the base elements of despair and longing into the gold of contentment and serenity. In moments of challenge, a heart steeped in gratitude does not falter. It finds strength even in the midst of adversity, for it recognizes that the trials of life too are teachers. As Seneca would remind us, the Stoic spirit does not waver in the face of hardship. Instead, it flourishes, drawing nourishment from gratitude's deep well. In the Stoic tradition, the value of gratitude is an unwavering companion that ushers us towards a profound sense of tranquility. It elevates us above life's tempestuous waves, revealing the serenity that lies in embracing the blessings, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. With Seneca's wisdom, we come to realize that practicing gratitude is not a mere response to life's joys, but a steadfast embrace of the beauty found in life's most trying moments. With every breath, every heartbeat, and every fleeting moment, we are presented with opportunities to unearth the treasures of gratitude. Seneca's Stoic legacy beckons us to cherish the present, not in spite of life's challenges, but because of them, and to savor the beauty that surrounds us. It is in this luminous practice that we discover a profound sense of tranquility and calm, even amidst the tempests of existence. Lesson number 10. Keep learning and growing. In the profound tapestry of Stoicism, where wisdom is woven with threads of resilience and temperance, we find a radiant lesson that beckons us to embark on a lifelong journey of self-improvement. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's luminaries, stands as a steadfast guide in this pursuit, revealing that the path to inner calm and composure is paved with the stones of personal growth. The Stoic commitment to self-improvement is a recurring theme in the philosophy, finding resonance across different Stoic philosophers. Epictetus, in particular, carries the torch of this lesson with unwavering conviction. He invites us to tread a path of perpetual growth, emphasizing that this commitment is a treasure trove of wisdom that equips us to navigate life's challenges with grace and sagacity. At the heart of this Stoic doctrine lies a profound realization that life is an unceasing voyage. We are not static beings, but vessels of potential, forever capable of evolution. The commitment to lifelong learning and growth is an unyielding call to action, a reminder that no matter where we stand, there are yet horizons to explore and virtues to cultivate. The Stoic pursuit of self-improvement aligns harmoniously with the quest for wisdom and tranquility. It is an acknowledgement that inner calm and composure are not static attributes, but dynamic processes enriched by the ceaseless quest for understanding. Epictetus encourages us to strive for wisdom as we would for a precious gem, knowing that it is the compass that guides us through the labyrinth of existence. The Stoic journey of self-improvement finds its pulse in the ebb and flow of life's experiences. We are not called to perfection, but to progress, not to stagnation, but to steady growth. This Stoic lesson echoes through the corridors of wisdom, whispering that there is no final destination, but an endless odyssey of becoming a better version of ourselves. In embracing this lesson, we learn to navigate life's challenges with resilience and fortitude. The Stoic spirit finds strength not in the absence of adversity, but in the quest for growth, which adversity often catalyzes. We discover that setbacks are not roadblocks, but stepping stones, and every trial is a teacher. The commitment to lifelong learning and growth is a lighthouse in the tempest, a source of calm in the face of life's challenges. It is a testament to the Stoic principle that, regardless of external circumstances, we are the masters of our inner world. The more we learn, the more we grow, and the more we grow, the better we become at weathering the storms of existence. In the echoes of Epictetus's teachings, we find an invitation to celebrate the journey of self-improvement, to revel in the process of learning, and to honor the endeavor of growth. It is a lesson that assures us that with every step taken on this path, we come closer to the heart of Stoicism, a life marked by inner calm, composure, and the pursuit of wisdom. In a world filled with distractions and uncertainties, Stoicism offers a timeless and practical guide to maintaining calm and composure. By embracing these 10 lessons from Stoicism, inspired by the wisdom of different Stoic philosophers and embodying the virtue of temperance, you can navigate life's challenges with grace, wisdom, and inner peace. The Stoic temperance becomes your anchor, guiding you through the storms of existence and helping you keep calm in the face of adversity. As you embrace these Stoic lessons, you discover a profound sense of tranquility and equanimity that enables you to thrive regardless of life's challenges. Stoicism's enduring wisdom reminds us that inner peace and composure are not dependent on external circumstances, but are cultivated within through the practice of these valuable lessons. Top of form, bottom of form. All right, let's get real. Ever notice how some people just love to test your boundaries? They interrupt, make passive-aggressive comments, or act like your time and feelings are optional, and we're supposed to just smile and let it slide? Not today. If you're done putting up with people who don't respect you, this video is for you. Today, I'm breaking down brutally honest, maybe even a little controversial, ways to handle disrespect without losing your cool and without sacrificing your self-respect. So buckle up, because by the end of this, you'll have every tool you need to show people exactly where the line is drawn. Let's dive in. 1. Embrace the silent stare. Let's start with one of my all-time favorite slightly savage techniques, the silent stare. Now, you might be thinking, really? Just staring? Yes, trust me on this. When someone's being openly rude or disrespectful, nothing throws them off more than a long, calm, completely unbothered stare. People who disrespect others are usually looking for a reaction. They want you to stammer, get flustered, maybe even snap back. They're looking to drag you into their drama, to make you question yourself or feel small. But when you just look at them, no words, no expressions, just steady eye contact, suddenly the power dynamic flips. Now I get it. This might sound a little passive-aggressive, but hear me out. There's something deeply unsettling about someone who doesn't give the reaction they were expecting. When you hold a steady, silent stare, you're saying without a word, "I'm not playing this game with you." It's a way of reclaiming control without even lifting a finger, and sometimes that silent stare is the clearest, most powerful no you'll ever say. Let me tell you about a time this technique worked like magic. I was in a group meeting where one guy kept talking over me, cutting me off like he was on a mission. You know the type, loud, overconfident, thinking everyone's there to listen to his wisdom. I tried interjecting. I tried being polite, but he wouldn't stop. So finally, I just looked at him. I leaned back in my chair, crossed my arms, and held his gaze. No blinking, no expression, just stared. For 5 solid seconds, I said nothing. You could feel the tension build, and the best part? Everyone else at the table started looking at him too, wondering what he'd do. You know what happened? He got uncomfortable, stumbled over his words, and suddenly looked anywhere but at me. He didn't interrupt me for the rest of the meeting. That silent stare did more than any words could have. And it didn't just stop his behavior in the moment. He actually started treating me with more respect after that, as if he'd finally realized I wasn't someone he could just bulldoze. Sometimes you have to show people who you are without saying a word. Let's dig a little deeper because this is more than just a power move. When you embrace the silent stare, it's like a reminder to them and to yourself that you don't have to dance to someone else's tune. You don't owe anyone an emotional reaction, and you don't have to prove yourself to people who don't see your worth. This is about reclaiming your space, your peace, and your dignity. Too often, when someone is disrespectful, we feel an urge to defend ourselves, to make our case, or worse, to let it slide because we don't want to create a scene. But the silent stare, it's not about being aggressive. It's about showing that you're grounded, unbothered, and unapologetically in control of your own emotions. It's also about accountability. People who are used to disrespecting others often do it without even thinking. They've never been called out, never faced real consequences for treating others poorly. When you give them that silent, deadpan look, it's like you're holding up a mirror. Suddenly, they're left alone with their own behavior. You're not telling them they're wrong, you're showing them. And most people don't like to see themselves like that. That's why this works. I've noticed that the silent stare tactic does more than just get the other person to back off. It also strengthens your sense of self-worth. When you stand there silent and still, you're reminding yourself that their words or actions can't shake you. I used to be the type who'd nervously laugh off rude comments or try to explain myself when someone questioned my choices. But honestly, that just drained my energy and made me feel worse. Learning to just look at someone, to let that silence fill the room without backing down, was a game changer. It feels like a small act of defiance, a quiet but powerful declaration of self-respect. So if someone's being rude, pushing boundaries, or making you feel less than, try the silent stare. Just look at them. Let them feel the weight of your calm. You'll be surprised at how uncomfortable it makes them and how empowered it makes you feel. The silent stare says, "I respect myself too much to get dragged into your negativity," and that's a message worth sending. 2. Embrace silence as your answer. Here's a little secret weapon that's incredibly underrated. Silence. When someone disrespects you, one of the most powerful responses is no response at all. Now I know what you're thinking. Silence feels passive, almost like you're letting them get away with it, right? But here's the truth. Silence is far from passive. It's a choice. And sometimes it's the boldest, loudest answer you can give. When someone's throwing negativity at you, they're trying to pull you into their drama, to make you feel small or defensive. But when you don't engage, when you just let their words hang in the air without responding, it forces them to sit alone with their own behavior. And that silence, it's deafening. Now here's why this works so well. People who disrespect others usually expect a reaction. They're looking for a fight, a justification, or just some kind of validation for their own behavior. But silence says, "I'm not giving you my energy." By not engaging, you're keeping control of the conversation and letting them know, "I'm not here to entertain your disrespect." Sometimes the most powerful way to communicate is by not communicating. It's a quiet, subtle reminder that they're not worth your time or your words. I remember once being in a situation with someone who just couldn't resist making these little digs. You know the kind of person, hides their insults as jokes and tries to pass it off as harmless fun. So one day, he says something completely unnecessary about my work, clearly just to get a rise out of me. Normally, I would have tried to explain myself, or maybe even fired back a comment. But this time, I just looked at him, raised an eyebrow, and said absolutely nothing. I let his words hang in the air, letting him feel that awkward, silent pause. And you know what? He didn't know what to do. He looked at me, then looked down, mumbled something, and moved on. That moment was the last time he tried pulling that with me. It was like he realized that if I wasn't reacting, there was no power to be gained. That's the beauty of silence. It starves disrespect of the attention it craves. Here's the deeper message. When you choose silence, you're choosing yourself. You're saying, "I value my peace over your opinion of me." And that's not just empowering, it's revolutionary. So often, we feel pressured to respond, to explain ourselves, to defend our choices, or to prove our worth to people who frankly aren't interested in respecting us. But by embracing silence, you're refusing to play by their rules. You're taking a stand without lifting a finger. You're letting them know, "You're not worth my words." It's not just about controlling the situation, it's about reclaiming your energy. Silence is like a filter. It keeps your peace intact by blocking out the negativity that others try to project onto you. The moment you stop feeling the need to respond to every rude comment or passive-aggressive jab, you free yourself. You stop giving people access to your inner world, and you start living on your own terms. I'll be real with you. Learning to use silence wasn't easy for me. I used to think that if I didn't defend myself, I'd look weak or passive. But I started noticing something interesting. Every time I responded to people who disrespected me, I'd end up drained and frustrated. But when I held my tongue and let their comments pass by like white noise, I realized I felt lighter, stronger, and more in control. It was like I took back a piece of my power every time I chose silence over reaction. Here's my challenge to you. The next time someone disrespects you, just pause, take a deep breath, look them in the eye, and say nothing. Let your silence speak for itself. You might be surprised by how uncomfortable they get and how freeing it feels for you. Embrace silence as your answer, because sometimes saying nothing is the most powerful statement of all. All right, this one's going to hit home for a lot of us. Stop explaining your choices. Seriously. How many times have you made a decision for yourself only for someone to immediately start asking, why? Why did you do that? Why didn't you go to that event? Why'd you take that job? People seem to think they're entitled to an explanation for everything we do. And here's the honest truth. They're not. Your choices are your own, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. It might sound controversial, but let's face it. If someone's questioning your choices, they're often not looking to understand. They're looking to judge. They're looking to poke holes, make you doubt yourself, or feel better about their own decisions by making you second-guess yours. You don't have to play along. When you stop explaining yourself, you reclaim your autonomy and show them that your life isn't up for debate. Let's dig a bit deeper into why people feel so entitled to an explanation in the first place. When people question your choices, it's often because your decision challenges their view of the world. Maybe you're taking a risk they're too scared to take, or maybe you're stepping out of the norm they find so comforting. Your independence or willingness to do things differently can make them uncomfortable, and asking you to explain is their way of trying to fit you back into their comfort zone. But here's the kicker. Just because they're uncomfortable doesn't mean you're responsible for reassuring them. Your life isn't a public service announcement. You don't have to justify your choices to anyone. I remember when I decided to switch careers, moving from a safe job to something I was actually passionate about. But that came with a lot more risk. The moment people found out, it was like I'd announced I was moving to Mars. I kept getting asked, why would you leave a stable job? And how are you going to make it work? At first I'd try to explain, talk about how I wanted something more fulfilling, about how I had a plan. But I quickly realized that no matter what I said, it never felt like enough. The more I explained, the more people questioned me, poking holes and making me feel like I needed to prove myself. Then one day, I decided to try something new. When someone asked, "But why would you leave that job?" I simply replied, "Because I wanted to." No extra details, no breakdown of my strategy, just a simple answer. And let me tell you, it felt amazing. The silence that followed was everything. People didn't know how to respond because I'd taken away their power to question my choices. And you know what? They eventually stopped asking. Here's the real beauty of not explaining yourself. It's freeing. It's you standing in your own truth, knowing that your decisions are enough simply because you've made them. When you stop justifying your actions, you give yourself permission to live authentically, without the weight of other people's expectations. You stop wasting your energy on explanations, and you start pouring it into actually living the life you want. There's a powerful lesson here. Your life doesn't need an audience vote. Not every decision has to be analyzed or approved by others. When you stop explaining yourself, you're letting people know, I'm confident enough in my choices that I don't need your approval. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a truly confident person breaking down their decisions for others? Probably never. Because people who own their lives don't need external validation. They know that the only approval that matters is their own. Look, I've been there. I used to be the person who'd give a full PowerPoint presentation on why I was doing something just to get people on board. But over time, I realized that explaining myself to everyone was only making me second-guess my choices. So I made a pact with myself. If someone asks me about a decision, I'll answer briefly, maybe give a sentence or two. If they push for more, I smile and move on. And you know what? Life got a lot lighter. The more I stopped explaining, the more confident I became in my own decisions. So here's my challenge to you. The next time someone questions your choices, resist the urge to explain. Just say, "Because I wanted to," or "That's what felt right for me." Then let the silence speak. Watch how powerful that simple statement is. You'll feel stronger, more in control, and more at peace with yourself. And the best part, you'll realize that your choices don't need anyone else's stamp of approval. They're valid simply because you made them. Keep your distance. Let's be real. Sometimes the best way to handle people who don't respect you is to just keep your distance. I know it sounds harsh, maybe even a little cold, but here's the hard truth. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life, and if someone's consistently disrespecting you, one of the healthiest moves you can make is to give yourself some space from them. This doesn't mean you hate them or that you're being dramatic. It means you respect yourself enough to protect your energy. Keeping your distance isn't about being mean or ignoring people. It's about choosing where and how you spend your time and energy. Imagine your life as a limited access club. Not everyone gets a VIP pass. If someone's constantly crossing your boundaries, making you feel small, or just radiating negativity, why on earth would you keep them close? It's okay to step back. In fact, it's crucial. Distance can give you the clarity to see things as they really are, free from the fog of emotional manipulation or guilt. Think about it. When you keep people who disrespect you close, it's like inviting them to a mental and emotional buffet where they take, criticize, and judge as much as they want. And then we wonder why we feel drained, anxious, or frustrated. Giving yourself space from these people is an act of self-preservation. It's about protecting your mental health, preserving your peace, and making room for people who actually respect and uplift you. Letting go of the guilt around distancing yourself can be liberating. You're not obligated to keep disrespectful people in your orbit. I'll share a little story. I once had a friend who would always find a way to make snide comments about every choice I made, my career, my relationships, even my taste in music. At first I thought, well, that's just how they are. Maybe I'm overreacting. So I kept them around, kept trying to brush it off, thinking it wasn't that big of a deal. But over time, those little jabs started getting under my skin. I realized I was walking on eggshells, always bracing myself for the next criticism or the next joke that felt more like a punch. One day, I decided to try a different approach. I didn't make a big announcement or call them out. I just started limiting my time with them. Instead of seeing them every week, I'd see them maybe once a month. And guess what? I felt lighter. I felt freer. And in that space, I realized just how toxic that friendship had become. Distancing myself gave me the mental clarity to see that I deserved better friends. Friends who would build me up instead of tearing me down. Here's the thing. Some people are going to tell you that keeping your distance is selfish. They'll say, but they're family, or you've been friends for years. It can feel uncomfortable, maybe even a little taboo, To admit that someone you know well just isn't good for you. Society tells us to be loyal, forgiving, and nice, but at what cost? Here's a little secret. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. You're not here to be anyone's emotional punching bag or their constant source of validation. Sometimes the best way to show someone you've had enough is by simply stepping back. Here's where it gets deep. Keeping your distance is a powerful reminder that you are your own priority. You don't have to play the role someone else has assigned to you. You don't owe anyone access to your mind, your time, or your emotions. When you put a little space between yourself and disrespectful people, you're making a statement. Your well-being comes first, and that's not just self-care, it's self-respect. Distance also gives you the chance to focus on the relationships that matter, the ones that genuinely uplift you. Think about it. The more time you spend around people who respect you, the more confident and fulfilled you feel. The less time you spend around those who tear you down, the less room they have to impact your thoughts, your mood, and your life. I used to feel so guilty about distancing myself from people, even if they weren't treating me well. I'd think, what if they think I don't care? Or maybe I'm overreacting. But over time, I learned that distancing myself wasn't just about removing negativity, it was about creating space for growth. When I started giving myself permission to distance from disrespectful people, I felt a new kind of freedom. I had more energy, more peace, and a clearer vision of who I wanted in my life. So, here's my challenge to you. Think about the people in your life who constantly disrespect you, who make you feel small or drained. Then ask yourself, do they really deserve this much access to me? Hold your head high. All right, let's talk about an old-school classic that never goes out of style. Holding your head high. Now, I know this might sound like generic advice, but trust me, this one is pure gold when dealing with people who don't respect you. Here's the thing. When someone is disrespectful, they're banking on making you feel small. They want you to doubt yourself, to lower your eyes, to shrink into yourself. But when you stand tall and hold your head high, you're saying, without a word, I know exactly who I am, and nothing you say or do will make me feel less. Here's what's powerful about this. Confidence makes people uncomfortable, especially people who disrespect others. Why? Because they rely on the idea that their words or actions have the power to influence you, to control you in some way. When you refuse to let their disrespect touch you, when you literally stand taller and hold your head up high, you're showing them that they don't have the power to bring you down. You're unbreakable, and people who thrive on disrespect don't know what to do with that. It throws them off balance. It makes them question their power, not yours. I remember being in a situation with someone who just couldn't resist throwing little insults my way every time we met. You know the type. Always a smirk, always a joke that feels more like an attack. I used to try and brush it off, but honestly, it got to me. I found myself starting to dread being around them, feeling like I had to defend myself every time. But then, one day, I decided I was done feeling small. I showed up, shoulders back, head high, and every time they made one of their little comments, I just looked them in the eye, smiled, and carried on like nothing had happened. And you know what happened? They actually started backing off. It's like they could sense that their comments weren't reaching me anymore, that I was too far above that nonsense. And suddenly, their power faded. There's something magnetic about holding your head high. It's like a silent force field that says, I'm untouchable. Now, here's where it gets a little spicy. People who don't respect you often hate seeing you confident. It messes with their worldview. They want to believe they're above you, that they've got something on you. And when you walk around confidently, it disrupts that narrative. To them, it's almost offensive. Society doesn't always know what to do with people who are unapologetically sure of themselves, especially when they refuse to let others' negativity define them. And let's be real, that can make you a bit of a target. But here's the thing, holding your head high isn't about them, it's about you. It's about living as if you're fully aware of your worth, as if you've got nothing to prove. That can feel like a radical act of self-respect. When you hold your head high, you're making a statement about your self-worth. You're declaring that, no matter what, you see yourself as valuable, deserving of respect, and inherently enough. Here's the deeper message. Self-worth isn't something you earn from others. It's something you claim for yourself. No matter what others think or say, you walk through life as if you already have everything you need within you. And guess what? You do. Holding your head high is a constant reminder that you're the main character in your own story. No one else's opinion has the right to make you feel less. The beauty of it? The more you practice this, the less others' disrespect will even register. You'll be too busy living in your own lane, too secure in who you are, to be bothered by anyone else's attempts to knock you down. This didn't come naturally to me. I used to be the person who'd slouch, avoid eye contact, and shrink when people were critical or dismissive. It felt safer to disappear. But over time I noticed that every time I held my head high, every time I refused to let someone's negativity seep into my spirit, I felt stronger. It was like I was reminding myself over and over that I didn't need anyone's approval to feel worthy. I could simply stand tall in who I was. Holding your head high isn't just about physical posture, it's about mental posture too. Walk into every room like you belong there. Don't shrink yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. If someone makes a snarky comment, let it roll off you. They're not seeing the real you, they're projecting their own insecurities. So why let it bother you? Here's my challenge to you. Next time you feel disrespected, whether it's a subtle dig or a full-on insult, don't react. Instead, take a deep breath, pull your shoulders back, and keep your head high. Look them straight in the eye, as if to say, I see you, but I'm above this. You'll feel a rush of confidence, a sense of peace that comes from knowing their words hold no power over you. Holding your head high is more than just good posture. It's a powerful, silent statement of your self-respect. It says, I know who I am, I value who I am, and nothing you say can change that. Because at the end of the day, respect starts with you. The more you respect yourself, the less room there is for anyone else's disrespect to stick. Stand tall, own your worth, and remember, you're worth every bit of that confidence. Life's too short to spend it bending over backwards for people who can't see your value. You don't need anyone's permission to stand tall, protect your peace, and live life on your terms. People will try to bring you down, test your boundaries, and question your choices. That's just the world we live in. But here's the thing. You get to decide what energy you let in. You set the standard for how you're treated. The best part? The more you focus on your self-respect, the more you'll attract people who see your worth, who uplift you instead of dragging you down. It all starts with you owning your power and letting the rest fall into place. So, hold your head high, embrace the silence when it serves you, and never apologize for walking away from what doesn't serve you. Thanks so much for watching. If you got something out of this, give it a thumbs up and maybe even hit subscribe for more content on owning your life and building the confidence to thrive. Share this with someone who needs a reminder to stand tall. And hey, drop a comment below if you've got a story about handling disrespect or setting boundaries. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and remember, respect starts with you. Unfortunately, the art of silence has been lost in our busy world, where noise and talk are always present. But what if the times we choose not to speak were just as strong as the times we do? How often do we stop and think about what our quiet means? Stoicism is an old theory that teaches people how to control themselves through reason and emotional strength. It's a great way to learn when to speak. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, said, "It's better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." This wise saying brings up a basic question. How many times have we felt bad about saying something in a hurry or out of anger? Stoicism doesn't just tell us not to do things. We owe it to ourselves to use silence as a tool for growth and peace. Imagine facing life's challenges with the calm confidence that your silence speaks louder than any words ever could. Stoic philosophy teaches that silence isn't just the absence of speech, but a deeply felt response that has been carefully chosen. It is an active, powerful force, a plan that can help ease disagreements, protect us from harm, and help us understand. But when exactly should we embrace silence? Together, we'll find out 9 key times when choosing silence is not only smart, but also life-changing. As we go deeper into these lessons, think about how practicing Stoic silence might change the way you deal with others and your own peace of mind. What if you could end a heated fight with a calm, measured silence instead of harsh words? What might a quiet pause help you say about your feelings and thoughts? Come with us as we dig up the strong times to shut up and let the knowledge of Stoicism guide us. Are you ready to learn more about the deep knowledge of Stoicism? Please leave a word before you start your journey. Number 1. When being criticized unfairly. According to Stoic philosophy, being unfairly criticized is a unique chance to become stronger and show integrity. The main ideas behind this old knowledge come from the ruler Marcus Aurelius, who once said that if something outside of you bothers you, it's not the thing itself that's hurting you, but how you think about it. He also said that you can change how you think about something at any time. Insight says that what bothers us about criticism is not the criticism itself, but how we see and respond to it. Think about this. How might changing how you see criticism make you stronger? Can you think of a time when staying calm in the face of unfair criticism changed the outcome? For example, if you are leading a project at work and your boss criticizes it harshly, a Stoic response would be to calmly look at the feedback and find useful insights while ignoring any negative information that isn't based on facts. Epictetus said that this way of doing things will not only keep your peace, but also keep your professional honor. Don't talk about your theory, live it. To live by philosophy, you have to respond with calm, well-thought-out responses instead of defensive ones. You should let the quality of your responses and ultimately your work speak for itself. Not responding when unfairly criticized is not just a passive act, it's a strategic one. To embrace Stoicism's call to focus on what we can control, our responses and attitudes, this quiet strength turns possible conflict into a sign of your personal strength and philosophical dedication. As you face life's difficulties, think about how silence can help you. What chances might come up if you choose thoughtful silence over impulsive speech? How might this practice not only improve your own peace of mind, but also have an effect on those around you? By incorporating Stoic principles into our daily lives, especially when we are unfairly criticized, we align ourselves with a philosophy that values strength of character over the temporary approval of others. This promotes personal growth and inspires others to do the same, especially in today's world, where boasting and self-promotion often drown out humility. Stoicism tells us to embrace silence, and the wise Marcus Aurelius says, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be one." In this light, think about how silence in response to boasts can turn a potentially ego-fueled environment into a place of self-reflection and growth. There will always be criticism in life, and it can often be a good way to learn and improve. But criticism isn't always fair, even when it's meant to hurt someone. In these kinds of scenarios, it can be hard to stay calm and act in the right way. Stoicism, a theory that began in ancient Greece, has timeless advice on how to handle rude criticism with class and grace. By following Stoic ideas, we can turn bad things that happen to us into chances to grow as people and become stronger inside. What matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it. This is the Stoic principle. Epictetus advised taking a moment to think about what to say when someone criticizes you unfairly. This keeps you from acting on impulse and gives you time to think about what's going on without getting upset. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that we control our minds, not events outside of them. Understanding this truth makes us stronger. Unfair feedback only reflects the reviewer's feelings or thoughts, not your actual worth or abilities. Marcus Aurelius also said that if anyone can prove and show him that he thinks and acts in error, he would gladly change, for he seeks the truth. There may be a small amount of truth in even the most unfair judgment. Finding useful insights hidden within criticism allows for self-improvement while discarding unnecessary negativity. Epictetus taught that one must first learn the meaning of what they say before speaking. When someone criticizes you unfairly, staying calm and polite is essential. This shows strength and self-control while preventing unnecessary escalation. A calm response often neutralizes hostility and reflects maturity. Marcus Aurelius urged people to stop wasting time arguing about what a good man should be and instead focus on being one. Rather than dwelling on unfair criticism, redirect your energy toward your personal goals and self-improvement. You can rise above the bad things that happen and keep moving forward on your road by focusing on your own growth and virtues. It can be hard to deal with unfair criticism, but if you follow Stoic principles, you can turn these situations into chances to grow and become stronger. Remember to take a moment to think. Separate the criticism from your own worth. Look for any sliver of truth. Reply with coolness and respect, and keep your attention on your own growth. In this way, you live up to the Stoic ideal of staying calm and strong inside, even when things are hard outside. Number 2. Stoic silence in the middle of boasts. Imagine you're at a networking event where a co-worker is bragging too much about their recent raises and fancy lifestyle. You might want to counter their bravado with your own accomplishments. Stoicism teaches us the power of restraint. If you choose quiet, you keep your cool and let other people's words show you who they are. This way, you can save your energy for deeper conversations. This method not only protects your honor, but it also makes you look like someone who is sure of their own achievements and doesn't need outside approval. In this theory, silence is not a sign of passivity. Instead, it is a sign of strategic silence that shows knowledge and confidence. Another wise Stoic says, "He who does not wish to be outnumbered by greater benefits should not return one benefit with another. He should return many at once." In real life, this means that you should not respond to empty boasts with words, but with the quiet grace of your actions and the quality of your character. How often do you find yourself responding to someone else's success story with one of your own? What might happen if you instead chose to listen fully, acknowledging their accomplishments with a nod or a smile, while keeping your attention on your own virtues and goals? Accepting Stoic quiet in the middle of boasts is a way to live a life not marked by competition, but by happiness and inner success. It creates an atmosphere where one can thrive peacefully and successfully based on genuine self-worth rather than comparative measures. Please think about this lesson and use what you've learned in your daily life. How could accepting quiet make your life and relationships better? Please write about your ideas and stories in the space below. Let's work together to make each other's lives more peaceful and happy. Number 3. When dealing with anger. When we're angry, it can feel like a wild storm that can sweep away all reason and calm. But in the middle of this storm, Stoic philosophy offers a safe place to be, a moment of silence that helps us deal with these strong feelings. Epicurus, a famous Stoic figure, said to keep quiet most of the time and only speak when you have to. Now imagine a day at work when a co-worker's mistake causes you hours of extra work. Your first instinct might be to lash out in anger, but what would happen if you chose silence instead? By not reacting in anger, you give yourself time to think about the situation more objectively. This pause can stop the conflict from getting worse and lead to constructive solutions instead of heated arguments. Think about it. How often has reacting quickly in anger made you think about what could be different if you took a moment to calm down before speaking? Marcus Aurelius, another well-known Stoic, gives advice in his writings. How much worse are the results of anger than the things that make people angry? This thought makes us think about what happens after we get angry. Most of the time, the effects of an angry outburst are worse than the thing that made us angry in the first place. Think about Nelson Mandela, a famous leader who, even though he had been jailed for years, decided to forgive his abusers instead of getting angry. This decision not only improved his own life, but also led a country to reconciliation. For example, using silence when you're angry doesn't mean hiding your feelings. It means choosing a response that is in line with your best self. This practice not only improves your own peace, but also leads to better relationships and a more successful life. As you deal with the inevitable frustrations of daily life, remember that silence can be your sanctuary, a place where wisdom rules. Adopt it, and you may find that the quiet response is not only the most profound, but also the most powerful. Anger is a normal feeling that everyone has at some point in their lives. On the other hand, anger that isn't under control can hurt relationships and your own health. Stoicism teaches useful ways to control anger by focusing on self-control, clear thought, and inner peace. Figure out the cause. Look at your triggers to figure out what exactly makes you angry. Is it a person, a setting, or a certain event? Self-reflection. Think about why these things really set you off. Our assumptions and ideas about things often play a big role. Acceptance. Know that you can't change the things that happen in the outside world. What you can change is how you react to these things. Practice being mindful. Keep your mind on the present time instead of focusing on past problems or worries about the future. Exercises for deep breathing. When you feel angry, do exercises for deep breathing to calm your mind and body. Pause and think before you respond. Stop and think about what will happen if you do something. Change your point of view. Try to see things from the other person's point of view to show empathy. Seeing things from their point of view can help you feel less angry. Change the way you see it. Think about how a Stoic philosopher would see things. Would they think it was unimportant or important? Focus on solutions. Instead of dwelling on the issue at hand, think of useful ways to handle it. Build emotional strength. Learn to control yourself. Remind yourself that you can choose how to react. Use self-control and patience. Emotional detachment. Learn to control yourself. Remind yourself that you can choose how to react. Use self-control and patience. Emotional detachment. Learn to separate your feelings from what's going on. Take a step back and look at it objectively instead of personally. Get stronger inside. Do things that help you deal with your emotions, like exercising, writing in a book, or meditating. Use your anger in a healthy way. Positively channel your energy. Instead of being angry, put your energy into things that will help you, like working out or making art. Learn and grow. Use your anger as a chance to learn more about yourself and change how you respond in the future. How to communicate well. Talk about how you feel in a cool and confident way without being hostile or angry. Managing your anger well is important for your health and the health of your relationships. You can turn anger into a good force by getting to the bottom of it, practicing mindfulness, changing your point of view, building mental strength, and finding healthy ways to use your anger. Follow the advice of Stoicism to find inner peace and live a healthy, peaceful life. Number 4. Silence amidst unfounded rumors. Silence in the middle of false rumors. When people talk to each other, stories are like leaves caught in a gust of wind. When these rumors aren't true, they can cause harm and confusion. Stoic philosophy gives us a strong answer: quiet. Think about the story of a teacher in a small town who was wrongly accused of misconduct. As rumors spread through the community, the teacher chose not to add to the heat by denying or explaining what happened. Instead, she relied on her honesty and integrity to stand firm. This silence is not a passive surrender, but a smart decision based on wisdom. Marcus Aurelius said, "You hold power over your thoughts, not over outside events. Understand this, and you will be strong." How often have we seen quickly spoken words make things worse? How might silence protect you from the arrows of false accusations? By refusing to comment, the teacher let the community's initial excitement die down. As time went on and no new proof came to light, the truth became her defense. This shows the Stoic belief that you should focus on what you can control, like your reactions and actions, instead of worrying about how stories spread, which you can't stop. Epictetus once said that if someone says bad things about you, you should always compliment them. This counterintuitive method says that reacting to negativity with positivity, or in this case, silence, can stop and change the course of unproductive interactions. When false accusations are made, speaking quietly can show respect and trust in the truth. To use this in your own life, think about how important it is to wait to reply to stories until the storm passes. Remember that the best way to keep your peace and image is to live by the ideal you preach, not by fighting every whisper. In these kinds of situations, staying quiet isn't just a way to protect yourself, it's also a way to show your dedication to Stoic principles. So, as you deal with the difficulties of personal and professional relationships, let Stoic silence lead you through the chaos of false rumors, finding in it the way to a peaceful, happy, and successful life. Number 5. How to deal with loss. How do you deal with the utter silence that follows a major loss? Loss is a common human experience that often leaves a void filled with sadness and confusion. But Stoicism has a unique way of dealing with pain. For example, C.S. Lewis, a famous author who wrote about his grief after losing his wife in the book A Grief Observed, says, "The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before." This is a very Stoic way of thinking. Stoics believe that our experiences are part of a bigger natural flow of life, and that loss and love will always go hand in hand. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, has a lot to say about this subject. The day we worry will be our last is actually the birthday of eternity. How might your response to loss change if you see it as a shift instead of an end? What might you gain by accepting the silence that comes after loss, giving yourself time and room to think and heal? After his death, Lewis didn't try to fill the silence with explanations or distractions. Instead, he used it to deeply explore his thoughts and feelings, showing the Stoic belief that hardships can be used for personal growth. His journey through grief showed how keeping a calm mind can help someone deal with deep emotional pain and turn it into a deep understanding of life's fragility and beauty. Silence after a loss isn't a way to hide or deny what happened. It's a way to give yourself time to relax, think, and move on. Find meaning beyond the pain you're feeling right now. This means letting your feelings run their course without causing a forced end. Think about how you've dealt with losses in the past. How could the Stoic practice of reflective silence help you in future times of grief? How might this method change not only your own healing, but also the healing of those around you? Please share your thoughts and experiences with loss, as well as how Stoic practices may have affected your path. What lessons have you learned, and how has silence helped you get better? Let's talk about it and get better in the comments below. One of the hardest things in life is dealing with death. It's hard to deal with grief and sadness when you lose something important in your life, like a loved one, a job, or a big chance. Stoicism, an old theory started by Zeno of Citium in Athens, gives us timeless advice on how to deal with these hard times. Taking a Stoic view can help us be strong and at peace, even when we've lost something very important. Recognize and accept how you feel. It's important to understand and accept the feelings that come with losing someone. Stoicism teaches us that feelings are normal reactions to things that happen in life. The steps you can take. Let yourself cry and feel the pain without judging yourself. Writing in a journal or talking to a friend you trust can help you work through these feelings. Pay attention to what you can change. According to Stoic theory, we should let go of things we can't change and focus on the things we can. The steps you can take. Figure out what you can change about the situation, like how you deal with the loss, and let go of what you can't. Reframe the loss as a chance to get better. As explained, Stoics think that every problem can be used as a chance to grow and get better. Step you can take. Think about what you can learn from this. What can this loss teach you that will make you better, smarter, or more caring? Practice being thankful. Being thankful can help you stop thinking about what you've lost and start focusing on what you still have. Step. Write down every day a list of things you are thankful for. This exercise can help you see things in a new way and make you feel calm. Seek help and group. Stoicism stresses how important it is to have a group and help each other through hard times. Step to take. Talk to family, friends, or support groups. Talking about your problems with other people can help you feel better and less alone. It's never easy to deal with loss, but the Stoic ideas can help us be strong and resilient when we're going through the pain of loss. It can help to recognize our feelings, focus on what we can control, change our point of view, be grateful, and ask for help. These techniques can help us heal and grow if we choose to use them. Number 6. Navigating ignorance with Stoic grace. Have you ever met someone whose actions show they don't understand, but whose belief is as strong as if they were an expert? Even though this situation is upsetting, it's a good time to practice being patient and graceful. Galileo, the famous scientist who pushed heliocentrism during a time of strong geocentric beliefs, is a great example of how to deal with ignorance. Even though he faced fierce opposition and was even put under house arrest, Galileo kept his honor and dedication to the truth, often choosing to stay silent in the face of false accusations and ignorance. Stoicism teaches us that we can only control how we respond, not what other people do. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, said, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events." Realizing this will give you strength. Think about using this point of view the next time you come across someone who is wrong in their thoughts. How could changing how you respond if you knew you could control it? Galileo's silence wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a strong statement of his honesty and belief in what he had found. He knew that truth doesn't need to be backed up by words, but can stand firm on its own merits. Over time, this approach is similar to the Stoic idea of focusing on one's own actions and accepting that others' beliefs are outside of one's control. Being gracious means knowing the limits of your power and picking your fights carefully. It means being patient and understanding, even when things are frustrating. This practice not only leads to a peaceful and happy life, but it also helps you see things with a bigger picture that focuses on long-term respect and success instead of short-term vindication. Think about how silence can be a graceful reaction to stupidity in your own life. How might this method improve your relationships and your own health? Let Galileo's story motivate you to practice Stoic silence, turning possibly happy situations into chances for inner peace and personal growth. Number 7. How to deal with rumors. There must have been many times in your life when you were the subject of a story, hearing whispers getting louder as they went around. It's a normal human reaction, but keeping quiet can change the situation. Think about the story of a community leader whose dedication to protecting the environment led to false rumors about her personal gain. Instead of addressing each rumor, she stayed focused on her work, remembering Marcus Aurelius's words, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who hurt you." This leader's decision to remain silent and continue her advocacy let her actions speak louder than any rumor. Her behavior shows an important Stoic concept. It's not outside events that bother us, but how we react to them. How would your life be different if you ignored rumors with silence? What strength could you gain by deciding not to explain, but to keep going on your path? If someone says bad things about you, and it's true, Epictetus tells us to fix ourselves. If it's a lie, this wise leader not only kept the peace, but also told her people to look past the lies by telling them to laugh at them. People who didn't believe in her slowly lost faith, but her calm attitude and unwavering commitment showed that Stoic silence can help you keep your image and self-respect. This story shows how Stoicism can be used in modern life by showing how our reactions to false information can either feed the fire or put it out. It also shows that silence is not a passive choice, but an active and powerful way to let our lives and results show what kind of person we are. Think about this approach the next time you hear rumors. How can practicing Stoic silence help you stay calm and focused? How might it change how other people see you over time? I want you to share your ideas and experiences with dealing with rumors in the comment section below. What have you learned from these events, and how has silence helped you get through them? Your ideas could help someone find their way. Rumors can spread fast, hurt your image, cause a lot of stress, and make things more confusing. It is important to come up with good ways to deal with gossip in a world where information spreads quickly. There is timeless knowledge in Stoic thought that tells us how to stay calm, collected, and logical when we face problems. Keep your emotions in check. It is important to keep your feelings in check when you hear stories. When you react quickly or strongly, it can make things worse and give the stories more weight. Instead, try to keep your emotions in check and look at the issue without bias. Pause before you answer. Take a few deep breaths and tell yourself that other people's opinions don't define your worth. Do things that calm you down, like awareness or meditation, to stay calm. Get clear and get the facts. Thoughts and details that aren't clear often feed rumors. Do not take them at face value. Instead, look into the facts, find trustworthy sources, and gather correct data to find out what the story is really about. Talk to reliable people who can give you more information before coming to a decision. Ask questions and look for proof. This method helps you react based on facts instead of guesses. Think things through before you act. How you react to a story can have a big effect on how true it is. When you act without thinking, you might misunderstand something and spread the story even more. Instead, react carefully and with a plan. Look at the situation and think about what might happen if you do something different. Respond to the rumor in a cool and accurate way if you need to. Sometimes the best thing to do is to be quiet or say something slowly. Pay attention to your actions and personality. The best way to fight back against fake rumors is to show that you are a good person. Over time, stories can be put to rest by always being honest and showing what kind of person you are. Keep following your beliefs and ideas in everything you do. Take actions that are good for you and show who you really are. The more you act the same way over time, the less likely it is that false stories are true. Practice not caring about what other people think. Stoicism tells you to let go of things you can't change and focus on the things you can. The second group includes other people's thoughts and stories about you. Remember that you can't change what other people think or say. Pay attention to what you do and how you think. Accept yourself and have faith in your ideals, no matter what other people say. Stoic ideas like controlling your emotions, finding the truth, responding wisely, being constant, and not caring what other people think can help you deal with rumors in a balanced and logical way. By using these tips, you can handle the problems that stories cause with poise and strength, protecting your honor and peace of mind. Number 8. When confronted with injustice. Stoic philosophy teaches us to deal with life's problems with fairness and inner strength. This is especially important when we face unfairness. As the wise Epicurean said, "Bear and forbear." This maxim tells us to go through hard times without complaining and forgive others for their mistakes. Nelson Mandela fought against racism in South Africa in a way that made this theory very clear. Mandela's long time in jail could have made him angry, but he came out as a supporter of peace and unity, showing a deep Stoic resilience. Mandela didn't just stand there and let injustice happen. He chose to focus on healing and unity instead of getting even. This choice shows a key Stoic principle. Our biggest power lies in our ability to choose how to react to outside events. How might our own lives change if we followed Mandela's lead when it comes to the unfair things that happen to us? Can we choose to show understanding and kindness even when it seems impossible? By staying quiet when unfair things happen, Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that the best way to get back at someone who has hurt you is not to be like them. By choosing not to get into a fight and instead developing a spirit of healing and forward thinking, Mandela changed the way a whole country thought about justice and peace. His life shows us that silence is not a sign of submission. Instead, it can be a powerful tool for change and a sign of personal integrity. This Stoic way of thinking doesn't mean passively accepting injustice. Instead, it involves a strategic and principled silence that prepares us for constructive action. It's about keeping your inner peace and using calm to inspire thoughtful solutions that address wrongdoing and foster a collective move towards a better future. As we face both small and large injustices, let us remember Mandela's silent strength. His legacy teaches us that sometimes the most profound response is cultivated in silence, allowing us to build a foundation for meaningful change and a happier, more successful life. Adopting this can transform both personal hardship and communal strife, leading us to a more peaceful existence. Everyone has to deal with unfair situations at some point in their lives. As a Stoic, it's important to handle these scenarios with calmness and knowledge. The ideas of Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus can help you understand how to deal with unfair situations. Focusing on what we can control, staying calm inside, and reacting logically are some of the things they stress. Keep your peace inside. Marcus Aurelius says that no matter what is going on around you, you should keep your mind cool and collected. Emotional regulation. To keep your emotions in check, do things like deep breathing, being aware, and meditation. Accept what you can't change. Know that you can only change how you react to other people's acts. Answer logically. Think before you act. Instead of moving without thinking, stop and think about what the best thing to do is. Try to understand. Try to figure out why the unfair thing happened. This can help make things clearer and maybe even show a way to solve the problem. Avoid getting back at people. Getting back at people with anger or revenge only makes things worse. Try to respond in a reasonable and calm way. Take a look at your values. Always stick to your principles, no matter what. Let your behaviors be based on your core beliefs and principles. Moral integrity. Make sure that your answer is in line with your morals and upholds your honor. Set a good example. Show others how to deal with unfairness with respect and honor by the way you act. Look for constructive answers. Problem-solving attitude. Instead of dwelling on the problem, go into the situation with the attitude of finding ways to solve it. Communication. Talk to the people involved in an open and honest way to try to find a fair answer. Advocate for change whenever you can. Try to make changes to the system that get to the bottom of the unfairness. Grow and learn. Stop and think about what happened. Think about what happened and what you can learn from it. Personal growth. Look at the experience as a chance to grow as a person and make yourself stronger. Future readiness. Get the skills and information you need to handle similar scenarios better in the future. It is important to stay calm, react logically, stay true to your ideals, look for helpful solutions, and learn from the experience when you are faced with injustice. If you follow these Stoic principles, you can deal with unfair situations with kindness and honesty, making them into chances to grow and make things better. Number 9. How to handle insults with Stoic wisdom. Handle insults with Stoic wisdom. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." This maxim should wake us up every time someone insults us, and it also gives us a deep way to deal with insults. Be quiet. This insight tells us that we can choose how to react by choosing silence and understanding instead of conflict. Mahatma Gandhi, for example, faced insults and resistance in his fight for Indian freedom, but he didn't answer with anger or insult. Instead, he chose to be silent and understand. Gandhi believed in a form of pacifism, which is similar to the Stoic way of life. Joyful peace. Gandhi's reaction to verbal and physical attacks was to keep quiet. This often made his enemies less dangerous and won support for his cause among the public. How might taking a similar stance when you are insulted change the dynamics of your interactions with others? What could you gain by keeping your cool instead of responding with words? When someone attacks you, you give yourself room to act with purpose instead of impulsiveness. This stern practice not only keeps you calm, but it also makes you look like a leader who is above everyone else. Small disagreements echoed Marcus Aurelius's. How much worse are the results of anger and grief than the things that made us feel those ways? Think about this as you deal with the problems that come up every day. Think about what this stern silence could do for your life. Could it be the key to a better, more successful life? How might your actions affect how other people deal with problems? As we've looked at the 9 pivotal moments to embrace, silence from dealing with talk to facing loss, Stoic advice has shown us a way to peace and understanding. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In the spirit of his words, let us practice the deep strength that can be found in silence by deciding when to speak and when to listen. This will help us live a peaceful, happy, and kind life. Feel free to use these Stoic principles in your everyday conversations and see how the power of thoughtful silence can make your life better. If you found this talk deep and useful, please click the like button, leave a note with your thoughts, and don't forget to share these deep philosophical ideas with everyone you know. If you're new, subscribe to our channel to get more deep lessons in Stoicism that will help you grow. Let's get real. Most people are too afraid to tell you to your face that they don't like you. Instead, they hide behind fake smiles, hollow compliments, and forced politeness. I've been there too, thinking someone was a friend, only to find out they were secretly hoping for my downfall. It's brutal, but here's the truth. If you don't recognize the signs, you'll end up wasting your time and energy on people who deep down can't understand you. So, let's cut through the BS and talk about the signs that someone dislikes you but is hiding it. You might not like what you hear, but it's better to face the truth than live in denial. 1. They're always joking about your flaws. We all know that one person who loves to joke, especially when the joke is at your expense. They'll pick at your quirks, mistakes, and imperfections, always with a smile, saying, "I'm just messing with you." At first it seems harmless, but let's be honest. These jokes are often more than just playful banter. They're calculated digs cleverly disguised as humor, meant to chip away at your self-esteem bit by bit. I remember a time when I was close to someone who always had something to say about me. How I dressed, the way I spoke, even the projects I was working on. At first, I laughed it off, thinking it was all in good fun. But over time, I noticed a pattern. The jokes were always aimed at my perceived weaknesses, never at my strengths. It wasn't long before I started second-guessing myself, wondering if maybe I was the problem. Here's where the controversy kicks in. People who consistently joke about your flaws aren't doing it out of affection. They're testing the waters to see how much disrespect you'll tolerate. It's a subtle form of manipulation, a way for them to assert dominance while keeping you in your place. They're telling you, in no uncertain terms, that you're beneath them. The most insidious part is that they get away with it because we've been conditioned to believe that if we can't take a joke, we're the ones with the problem. But let's flip that script. I'm here to tell you that there's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself when a joke crosses the line. In fact, it's essential. You deserve to be around people who lift you up, not those who knock you down for a cheap laugh. True friends don't need to point out your flaws to feel better about themselves. They celebrate your strengths and help you work through your weaknesses without making you the butt of the joke. I've seen it happen time and again. People who let these kinds of jokes slide, thinking it's easier to keep the peace than make waves. But here's the deep truth. Allowing others to disrespect you, even in jest, is a slippery slope. It starts with small comments, but over time those jokes can wear you down, making you question your worth. The more you allow it, the more they'll push until you're left doubting yourself, all because you didn't want to seem too sensitive. I had to learn this lesson the hard way. I realized that by laughing along, I was giving them permission to keep going. I was complicit in my own disrespect. It wasn't until I started setting boundaries and standing up for myself that I noticed a change, not only in how they treated me, but in how I began to see myself. I stopped allowing their words to define me and started taking control of my own story. Here's my advice. The next time someone makes a joke at your expense, don't just brush it off. Ask yourself, is this really funny, or is there something deeper going on here? If it's the latter, don't be afraid to call them out. It might feel uncomfortable, and it might even end the friendship, but your self-respect is worth more than someone else's misguided attempt at humor. Life is too short to be surrounded by people who don't value you. If their version of friendship is constantly putting you down, it's time to seek out new friends. True friends don't need to bring you down to feel good about themselves. So, stand tall, speak up, and never let anyone reduce you to a punchline. 2. They give compliments that feel like insults. We've all experienced it. Someone offers you a compliment, but instead of feeling uplifted, you're left with a bitter taste, like you've been slapped with a velvet glove. It's the kind of compliment that makes you pause and wonder, was that really a compliment or an insult? And here's the harsh truth. Often, it's a mix of both. These backhanded compliments are a subtle tactic used to undermine you while pretending to be kind. I remember a time when I was proud of a big project I had worked on. After putting in countless hours of effort, I finally shared it with a group of colleagues. One of them, someone I thought had my back, said with a smile, "Wow, this is actually pretty good for someone like you." At first, I was stunned. On the surface, it seemed like a compliment, but those last words, "for someone like you," hit me like a ton of bricks. What did that even mean? Was I not expected to do good work? Here's the problem. These so-called compliments aren't meant to lift you up. They're a way to keep you in your place. It's a subtle power play where the person giving the compliment is asserting their superiority while making you doubt your own abilities. What they're really saying is, "I see you trying, but you'll never be as good as me." It's toxic, but it's disguised so well that you almost don't see the harm in it. Let's face it, people who give backhanded compliments are often insecure themselves. They see your strengths and potential, and it intimidates them. So, they throw in these little digs to keep you questioning yourself, making sure you don't surpass them. It's like they're giving you a pat on the back with one hand while holding you down with the other. And here's where it gets even more complicated. We've all done this at some point, not always on purpose, but we've allowed our own insecurities to slip into a compliment that serves to remind someone of their place. But here's the important lesson. You don't have to accept these disguised jabs. You have the power to recognize them for what they are, a reflection of their own insecurities, not a measure of your worth. When someone says, "You're smarter than you look," or "This is good considering you're new at this," don't just take it. Call them out on it, even if it feels awkward. Because if you don't speak up, you allow others to control how you view yourself, and that's a power you should never give away. Over time, I learned to recognize these backhanded compliments for what they truly are, reflections of someone else's insecurities. When you see them this way, they lose their sting. Instead of taking it personally, you can almost laugh it off, because their words reveal more about them than about you. Now, when I receive a backhanded compliment, I don't just let it pass. I'll respond with something like, "Thanks, but what do you mean by that?" This forces them to face the insult hidden in their words, and it often catches them off guard. They suddenly realize you're not falling for their game, and it's incredible how quickly their attitude shifts. The key takeaway: don't let anyone's subtle negativity define who you are. Whether it's a well-meaning friend, a jealous colleague, or even a family member, your worth is never up for debate. Compliments should elevate you, not bring you down. If their words make you doubt yourself, it's time to question their intentions. Life's too short to waste on people who can't celebrate your successes genuinely. Surround yourself with those who see your value and are willing to remind you of it without hidden agendas. 3. They subtly exclude you from plans. It's often the small things that hurt the most, like realizing your so-called friends accidentally forgot to invite you to an event, dinner, or weekend getaway. They'll say it was an oversight, a last-minute thing, or worse, assume you were too busy anyway. But let's be real, these aren't accidents. This is a form of social exclusion, and it's a clear sign that you're not as valued as you think. I've been there too many times. I remember checking my phone one weekend and seeing pictures of friends enjoying an event I would have loved to attend. The kicker? Not a single person mentioned it to me beforehand. When I brought it up later, they had all kinds of excuses. We thought you were busy, or it was a last-minute plan. But deep down, I knew the truth. If they really wanted me there, they would have made sure I knew about it. Here's where it gets tricky. This type of exclusion isn't just thoughtless, it's intentional. It's a way of sending a message without saying anything directly. They don't want you there, but don't have the courage to say it. Instead, they hope you'll quietly fade out of the group without making a fuss. It's passive-aggressive and cowardly, but unfortunately, it's also all too common. People rarely talk about this because it's easier to pretend it's not happening. It's easier to convince yourself it was just a mistake, rather than face the painful reality that you're being pushed out. But here's the thing. If you keep accepting these excuses, you're giving them the power to continue excluding you. You're letting them decide your place in their lives, rather than taking control of your own story. I had to learn this the hard way. For a while I kept quiet, hoping I'd be included next time. But then I realized that by staying silent, I was allowing myself to be treated as an afterthought. So I did something bold. I began confronting them about it. I'd ask, "Hey, I saw you all went out last weekend. Why didn't anyone invite me?" It wasn't easy, and it definitely created some tension, but it forced them to face their behavior. And the result? The dynamics shifted. Some became defensive, while others tried to make amends. But the message was clear. I wasn't going to let them exclude me without standing up for myself. Here's the important lesson. If people truly value you, they'll make the effort to include you, no matter how last-minute the plans may be. If they don't, then it's time to reassess the worth of those relationships. You deserve to be surrounded by people who don't make you feel like you're always chasing their approval or attention. Real friends don't forget to invite you. They make sure you're there because they genuinely enjoy your company. So, if you find yourself being subtly excluded from plans, don't just let it slide. Confront the issue. Ask the tough questions and be ready for answers, even if they're not what you want to hear. Because in the end, it's better to know where you stand than to keep wondering why you keep getting left out. And remember, you're not a backup option. You're a priority. Surround yourself with people who treat you as one. 4. They're busy, but only when it's you. We've all heard the excuse, "I'm so busy these days, sorry I can't hang out." It's the perfect excuse. Who isn't busy? But what happens when a pattern emerges? They're always free for others, posting pictures from outings, catching up with mutual friends. Yet when it's your turn, they're suddenly swamped. Here's the reality. They're not too busy. They're just too busy for you. I've experienced this frustration more than I care to admit. I remember reaching out to a close friend, trying to set up time to catch up. Every time I suggested something, they had an excuse. "I'm working late. I've got too much on my plate. Maybe next week." Meanwhile, I'd see them out with others, having a blast, always managing to find time for everyone but me. It took me a while to catch on, but the message became undeniable. I wasn't a priority in their life anymore. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. We've been conditioned to accept busy as a reasonable excuse for being left out. But the truth is, people make time for what or who they care about. If they're always too busy for you, it's not about their schedule, it's about their priorities. And that's a hard truth to swallow, because it forces you to face the possibility that you might not be as important to them as they are to you. The harsh truth is that busy is often just a polite way of saying, "I don't want to spend time with you." It's easier for them to blame it on their schedule than to admit they're choosing not to include you in their life. It's a passive-aggressive way of keeping you at a distance without confronting the reality of the situation. They want to keep you on standby, just in case, without actually investing in the relationship. I've been on both sides of this, sometimes making excuses because I didn't know how to tell someone I'd outgrown the friendship. But being on the receiving end taught me a powerful lesson. It's always better to be honest, even if it's uncomfortable, than to string someone along with excuses. When I finally confronted my friend about constantly being too busy, the conversation was uncomfortable, but it was essential. It gave me the clarity I needed to move forward and invest my time and energy into relationships where I was truly valued. The underlying message here is that your time and energy are valuable. Don't waste them on people who make no effort to prioritize you. If someone is always too busy for you, it's time to reassess the relationship. You deserve to be surrounded by people who are genuinely excited to spend time with you, who make an effort to include you, not just when it suits them, but because they truly enjoy your company. It's important to recognize that people change, and so do relationships. Sometimes we hold on to people out of habit, nostalgia, or the fear of being alone, even when they have clearly moved on. But there's strength in letting go and acknowledging that you deserve more than someone's leftover time. It's not about being demanding or needy. It's about valuing yourself enough to walk away from those who don't value you. 5. They avoid physical contact like the plague. Let's address the elephant in the room, physical contact, or rather, the lack of it. We're not just talking about romantic relationships here. Physical contact is a fundamental human interaction, a way of connecting and building trust. So, what does it mean when someone goes out of their way to avoid even the simplest touch? The answer isn't pleasant. They are sending a clear signal that they are uncomfortable around you, and it's important to pay attention. I once had a colleague who would recoil whenever I tried to initiate a handshake or offer a friendly pat on the back. Initially, I thought I was imagining things, but I soon realized it wasn't just me. They were warm and tactile with everyone else, but with me, it felt like I had the plague. Eventually, I came to realize that their avoidance of physical contact wasn't just a quirk. It was a deliberate effort to keep a distance. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Physical contact is an essential part of human connection. When someone consistently avoids it, they are communicating a lack of comfort or connection. Sure, some people aren't touchy-feely, and that's fine. But when it's selective, when they're happy to hug others but stiffen up around you, it's a red flag that something isn't right. They may not explicitly dislike you, but their body language says otherwise. We've all been there, both on the giving and receiving end. Maybe you've avoided a handshake or pulled back when someone got too close because you weren't feeling the vibe. Or maybe you've been left wondering why someone always seems to flinch when you're around. It's awkward, uncomfortable, and often a sign that the relationship isn't as strong as you thought. But here's the deeper truth. Physical contact is how we express trust, warmth, and empathy. When someone avoids it with you, they are not just avoiding touch, they're avoiding intimacy, vulnerability, and closeness. They are keeping you at arm's length, both literally and figuratively. This is a clear indication that something is off in the relationship. I've learned to pay attention to these subtle signs, even when it's difficult to accept what they mean. There was a time when I dismissed the signs, convincing myself that someone's reluctance to get close was simply a personality trait. However, the more I reflected on it, the more I realized that it was about me and the nature of our relationship. When I finally addressed the issue, it led to some tough conversations, and in some cases, the end of the relationship. But ultimately, it freed me from the frustration of wondering why things felt off. The deep message: don't ignore the signs. When someone avoids physical contact with you, it's more than just a preference. It's a reflection of their comfort level and connection with you. If you start noticing this pattern, don't hesitate to bring it up. It could lead to a deeper understanding or reveal that the relationship isn't as strong as you thought. In either case, it's better to face the truth than to live in denial. You deserve relationships where physical contact isn't something to be avoided, but something that happens naturally and comfortably. Whether it's a friendly hug, a handshake, or simply sitting close without feeling awkward, these small gestures are crucial for building trust and connection. If someone consistently avoids them, it's a sign that something is wrong. Don't be afraid to ask the difficult questions, and if necessary, make tough decisions. Life is too short to be surrounded by people who keep you at a distance, both literally and figuratively. 6. They disappear when you need support. Let's face it, nothing truly reveals the nature of a relationship like a crisis. When times get tough, you find out who your real friends are. So, what does it say about someone when they disappear just when you need them most? It's not just flakiness. It's a glaring sign that they're not as invested in you as you might have thought. I learned this the hard way during a particularly challenging time in my life. I was dealing with a major personal issue that deeply affected me. Naturally, I turned to the people I considered close friends, hoping for some support, even if it was just a simple text or call. But instead, I got silence. The people I thought would be there for me suddenly had every excuse in the book. I'm swamped at work. Sorry, I'm really busy right now. I'll check in later. Spoiler alert, they never did. Here's the controversial part. Many people love to say they'll always be there for you, but when the going gets tough, they're only around for the good times. They'll celebrate with you, enjoy the highs, and laugh with you. But when things get serious, they vanish. It's easier for them to ghost you than to face your pain or discomfort. The reality is, they don't care enough to be there when it matters. Let's be honest, true support isn't about convenience. It's about being there when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, and when you'd rather not. The people who disappear when you need them most aren't just inconsiderate. They're showing you exactly where you stand in their life. They're saying, without words, your problems aren't worth my time. I remember feeling completely heartbroken when I realized that the people I had been there for, during their breakups, family struggles, and career setbacks, couldn't be bothered to return the favor. It was a painful wake-up call, but also a valuable lesson. Nothing reveals the true nature of a relationship like a crisis. When things get tough, you find out who your real friends are. So what does it say about someone when they vanish the moment you need them most? It's not just a sign of flakiness, it's a neon warning that they're not as invested in you as you might have thought. I learned this the hard way during a particularly rough patch in my life. I was facing a major personal issue that really shook me to my core. Naturally, I turned to the people I considered close friends, expecting some level of support, even if it was just a text or a quick call. But guess what? Crickets. The people I thought would be there for me suddenly had every excuse in the book. I'm so swamped at work. Sorry, I'm really busy right now. I'll check in with you later. Spoiler alert, they never did. The controversial truth. People love to talk about how they'll always be there for you, But when push comes to shove, many of them are only around for the good times. They'll party with you, laugh with you, and enjoy the high points of your life. But the minute things get real, they're nowhere to be found. It's easier for them to ghost you than to deal with your pain or discomfort. Deep down, they don't care enough to be there when it counts. True support isn't about convenience. It's about being there when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, and when it's the last thing you want to do. The people who disappear when you need them most aren't just being inconsiderate. They're showing you exactly where you stand in their life. They're saying, without words, your problems aren't worth my time. My wake-up call. I remember feeling absolutely gutted when I realized that the people I'd been there for in the past, during their breakups, family dramas, and career setbacks, couldn't be bothered to return the favor. It was a wake-up call, and not a pleasant one, but it was also a lesson I needed to learn. Not everyone who smiles in your face is truly in your corner. The deep message: support is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. It's easy to be around when everything's going well, but the real test of a relationship is how people respond when things fall apart. If someone disappears the moment you need them, they're not just failing you, they're showing you that they were never really there in the first place. Don't let their absence make you bitter. Let it make you better. Use it as a filter to sift out the people who don't deserve a place in your life. The ones who stick around, check in, and show up, even when it's inconvenient, those are the people who truly matter. These are the relationships you should nurture and cherish. Life is too short to invest in fair-weather friends. Surround yourself with people who will stand by you in the storm, not just bask in the sunshine. When you find those rare individuals who stick around when the chips are down, you've found something worth holding on to. And as for those who disappear, let them go. They've already shown you their true colors. 7. They gossip about you behind your back. Gossip is the social poison that spreads faster than wildfire and can burn down relationships in an instant. The thing about gossip is that it's never as innocent as people often make it out to be. When someone you consider a friend talks behind your back, they aren't just sharing a harmless story. They're actively sabotaging your trust, your reputation, and your relationship. Let's be real. When someone gossips about you, it's a clear sign that they don't respect you, no matter how friendly they act in person. I've been the subject of gossip before, and let me tell you, it's one of the most gut-wrenching experiences. There was a time when I confided in someone I thought was a close friend about a personal issue. I trusted them to keep it between us, to unload some of the weight I was carrying. But within days, details of that conversation started circulating, twisted and exaggerated. It was like a game of telephone, but instead of the message getting lost, it was being weaponized against me. The person I trusted turned my vulnerability into entertainment for others. People who gossip about you aren't just venting or sharing concerns. They're playing a power game. Gossip is a way for them to elevate themselves while putting you down, all without having to confront you directly. It's cowardly, manipulative, and toxic. They're not just damaging your reputation, they're damaging the very foundation of trust that any real relationship is built on. Let's get one thing straight. People who gossip about others to you will gossip about you to others. It's a pattern, not a one-time thing. I've seen it happen too many times to count. Someone who loves to spill the tea on everyone else will suddenly go quiet when they're around you. Guess what? They're probably spilling your tea when you're not around. Gossip is the worst kind of betrayal because it's done in the shadows without giving you the chance to defend yourself or even know what's being said. I remember confronting the friend who gossiped about me, expecting some sort of apology or at least an explanation. Instead, they brushed it off, acting like it was no big deal, just a bit of harmless talk. But here's the truth. Gossip is never harmless. It's a betrayal, plain and simple, and it says far more about the person spreading it than it does about the person it's about. In the end, it's crucial to recognize the red flags in your relationships, whether it's people disappearing when you need them most or gossiping behind your back. These actions are clear signs that something isn't right. Confronting these issues, although uncomfortable, will help you focus on the relationships that truly deserve your time and energy. Have you ever longed for someone to miss you so deeply that you're the very first thought they have when they open their eyes in the morning and the last one before they drift off at night? If that's something you've wished for, then you're exactly where you need to be. Today, we're going to uncover the secrets of becoming truly unforgettable. We're diving into timeless Stoic principles, not just to stir a little longing, but to help you transform into someone whose absence creates a powerful and irresistible presence. Seneca once shared a profound truth. Absence intensifies love, while presence reinforces it. With that in mind, let's learn how to sharpen love to such a degree that your absence leaves a meaningful imprint. Don't skip any part of what we're about to explore, because each principle contributes an essential piece to the overall puzzle of becoming someone whose absence is genuinely felt. Before we get started, here's a quick, fun little challenge for you. Leave a comment below with the phrase, "on their mind tomorrow." It's short, sweet, and perfectly captures what we're diving into today. Plus, it'll be fun to see how many of you are taking part in this journey. Now, let's get ready to explore these 10 powerful Stoic strategies that will not only increase your presence in someone's heart, but will also make them truly yearn for you when you're not around. Let's begin with the first principle, self-sufficiency. You might be asking yourself, how can being independent make someone miss me more? The answer lies in demonstrating that you are whole and complete on your own, which is both attractive and captivating in any relationship. Think about it like this. When you're self-sufficient, you're not constantly reaching out for attention or leaning heavily on your partner for emotional support. Instead, you're actively living your life, pursuing your passions, meeting your own needs, and thriving as an individual. This kind of independence doesn't push people away, it pulls them in. It piques curiosity and earns admiration. Your partner begins to see you not just as their significant other, but as someone strong, centered, and thriving independently. When you're not always available or relying on them to bring you joy, you create a healthy space in the relationship. And this space isn't about emotional distance, it's about allowing each other to grow as individuals. What do they start to feel when you're not there? They begin to think about you. They remember how gracefully you manage life, how composed you are, how self-directed your choices seem. This memory, this vision of your strength and autonomy begins to spark longing. They miss the version of you that stands tall and independent. So embrace your self-sufficiency. It's not about distancing yourself. It's about inspiring a deeper, more respectful admiration of your presence. And as you cultivate that independence, don't be surprised if they find themselves thinking about you not just tomorrow, but for many tomorrows to come. Next comes emotional control. Now, you might think, control my emotions? I just want them to miss me. But here's the secret. Mastering your emotions is like having the reins of a powerful horse. It gives you the ability to guide the direction and tone of your relationships. Picture this. Every time you interact with them, you remain composed. Even when conversations take an unexpected turn or heat up, you hold your ground with calm. This kind of emotional balance doesn't just impress, it fascinates. Why? Because, as Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have control over your mind, not external events. Recognize this, and you'll discover true strength. When you respond with this inner strength, you leave a mark. People expect emotional reactions, but when you respond with calm, clarity, and thoughtful presence, it creates an aura of mystery. They begin to wonder what's going on inside your mind. You're not predictable anymore. You're serene and composed, and that unpredictability draws them in. Now, emotional control doesn't mean becoming cold or robotic. It means choosing to respond instead of react. That slight shift makes your emotions more meaningful when they are expressed. When you do open up, your feelings carry weight. They're not impulsive, they're deliberate, heartfelt, and powerful. And when you're not around, what do they remember? That poised version of you. They recall how you made them feel safe, calm, intrigued. They long for the warmth behind your thoughtful affection. So keep your cool, stay grounded, and let them wonder. Maybe even leave behind a subtle hint, something that softly suggests, will you be thinking of me tomorrow? Because in love, mystery can be a powerful magnet. Now we come to intentional communication. Have you ever noticed how just a few well-chosen words can leave someone longing for your presence? This is the magic of speaking with purpose. Intentional communication is about being deliberate with your words, making sure everything you say adds depth, connection, and value. When you speak intentionally, you don't just talk, you craft. You choose language that resonates, that sparks thought, that invites connection. It's not about saying a lot, it's about saying what matters. Seneca once advised that we should speak so that we are invited to speak again. That's the heart of this principle, leaving them wanting more of your insight, more of your humor, more of your uniquely genuine voice. Now, imagine that each time you speak, you're doing so to build understanding, to enhance the moment, to offer something real. You're not just filling silence, you're shaping meaningful interaction. And when you're not present, your words linger. They echo in their memory. Your voice plays back in their mind, not just because of what you said, but because of how you made them feel. With this kind of thoughtful communication, you create emotional layers. They start reflecting on your conversations. They begin to miss not just talking to you, but hearing you. You've shown them depth and intention. You've shown them connection. So use your words wisely and with care. Make every exchange meaningful. It's not just the content, it's the way you deliver it that stays with them. Let your words be like gentle spells that leave them thinking, what would they say now? And just like that, you're on their mind, again and again. Now let's talk about the acceptance of absence. Here's a twist you might not expect. How can truly embracing time apart actually bring two people closer? It may sound like a contradiction, but here's the truth. Accepting periods of separation can actually intensify their longing for you and strengthen the bond you share when you're reunited. Let's look at it from this perspective. It's not just a matter of absence making the heart grow fonder. Absence builds anticipation, and with that, a deeper sense of appreciation. When you learn to accept and even treasure the moments when you're not together, you reveal a profound level of self-awareness and independence. It shows that you understand that real connection isn't measured by constant presence, but by the emotional strength of your bond. As Epictetus so powerfully put it, freedom is the only goal worth pursuing in life. Freeing yourself from the need to cling allows your relationship dynamics to evolve in the healthiest, most liberating way. Picture what this looks like in real life. Instead of constantly texting or checking in when you're apart, you intentionally allow space to exist. You give the silence room to breathe and, in doing so, invite curiosity. You let a bit of mystery grow. Suddenly, you're no longer just a routine part of their daily life. You become the moment they eagerly anticipate. The acceptance of absence teaches you to move with the natural rhythm of closeness and solitude. It encourages you to enjoy your own company and cherish your individuality. And that kind of self-contentment, it's magnetic. So when you're together again after some time apart, the energy feels refreshed, the connection more alive, and the joy more intense. Let those quiet stretches apart do their work. They aren't voids, they're fertile grounds for growth and a deeper emotional pull. Let them feel your absence in such a way that they find themselves thinking about you more and more. When you come back together, the joy of reconnection becomes a vivid, cherished experience. Now let's explore mindfulness in interaction. How can being completely present when you're with someone create a longing for you when you're not there? The secret lies in making every shared moment so rich and meaningful that your absence leaves a distinct emotional void. Being mindful isn't just about being physically close. It's about being emotionally, mentally, and spiritually engaged. When you are mindful, you're fully attentive to the person you're with. You listen deeply. You respond with thoughtfulness. You tune in, not just with your ears, but with your heart. You're not distracted or scattered. Every interaction becomes intentional. And as Marcus Aurelius once said, approach every action in life as if it were your last. Apply that mindset to your time with loved ones, and suddenly each conversation becomes more vivid, each glance more heartfelt, and each shared laugh more lasting. Imagine this. Every time you're together, you bring a quiet but powerful presence. You aren't just there, you're alive in the moment. You're making every second count. This deep engagement plants seeds of emotional richness. So when you're no longer around, what remains? The powerful memory of how it felt to be seen, heard, and deeply connected with you. That's what lingers. That's what they miss. By practicing mindfulness, you create a strong emotional resonance. Your presence enriches their world in a way that few others do. And when you're gone, that absence becomes noticeably heavier. They start to crave not just your company, but the emotional presence and depth you uniquely offer. So give your full self when you're with them. Let your presence leave such a mark that it echoes long after you're gone. When you master mindfulness in interaction, you don't just spend time, you create memories. And those memories will keep you in their thoughts well into tomorrow. And here we are, halfway through this journey. If you're still with us, it means this message is truly speaking to your heart. If you haven't already, please take a moment to like this video or subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world and allows us to keep creating content that connects with you. Now, let's move into the sixth principle, a truly vital step in becoming unforgettable. This one carries significant weight, so stay focused. Let's now talk about consistency in communication. How does maintaining a steady, intentional communication pattern make someone feel your absence more deeply? It all comes down to cultivating trust and emotional rhythm. Consistency doesn't mean overwhelming them with constant messages. It means developing a steady, dependable flow of interaction that adds value and shows thoughtfulness. Think about small gestures. A good morning text that starts their day with warmth, a mid-afternoon check-in to show you're thinking of them, or a brief evening exchange about how your day went. These become rituals, comforting, familiar patterns that they begin to rely on. As Seneca once said, regularity is a sign of wisdom in communication. This sense of rhythm tells them you're not only present, but emotionally invested and dependable. Imagine even on your busiest days, you still make time for a brief, thoughtful message. That consistent effort becomes a part of their routine, a moment they look forward to. And here's where it becomes powerful. When those familiar touchpoints are suddenly absent, the silence feels louder. Your absence becomes a noticeable void, and they begin to long for your presence to return. This consistency doesn't just make you predictable, it makes you comforting, stable, and emotionally significant. You weave yourself into their everyday life through small, meaningful interactions. And when you're not there, they feel it. They miss not just the words, but the feeling that your messages bring. So make consistency your trademark in communication. Keep the rhythm going. Be someone they know they can count on to show up, even in small ways. Because the more dependable you are, the more deeply they feel your absence when it comes. Your goal isn't just to be remembered occasionally, it's to be constantly present in their thoughts, even from afar. Now, let's shift into purposeful living. How can having a life full of purpose make someone long for your presence even more? The answer lies in becoming someone whose passion and drive is naturally magnetic. When you lead a purpose-driven life, you're not sitting around waiting for someone else to complete you. You're actively shaping your life, chasing dreams, and engaging with your passions. Living with intention gives your energy a different kind of glow. You become someone who's exciting, inspiring, and a joy to be around. When you speak about your goals or dive into your projects, you radiate a kind of passion that's contagious. And that energy sticks with people. It makes them admire you, respect you, and most importantly, miss you when you're gone. So pursue your goals, cultivate your passions, let your life be full and vibrant. This creates a sense of admiration and even a little mystery. They'll find themselves thinking, what are they up to now? Or, I wonder how that project is going. That curiosity grows into longing. Your purpose-driven life becomes a compelling part of your identity that they want to stay connected with. Ultimately, purposeful living isn't about being too busy for love. It's about being so inspired that your presence becomes something others crave. Your energy draws people in, and when you're not around, they miss not just your company, but the light you bring into their world. When you live with purpose, you're not simply waiting for someone else to occupy your time. You're actively pursuing your goals and making the most of each moment. Living with intention naturally enhances your appeal and mystique. It signals that your life has direction and ambition that extend beyond your relationship. You become someone who is contributing to something bigger. And this depth adds to your charm and admiration in the eyes of others. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once remarked that our plans often fail because they lack clear direction. When a person doesn't know which harbor they are sailing toward, no wind is the right one. By setting clear intentions and working toward defined goals, you not only stay focused, but also become more dynamic and captivating. Visualize this. You share exciting stories with your partner about your latest projects, your volunteer initiatives, or your creative passions. As you talk, they see the light in your eyes, the genuine enthusiasm that fuels you. This excitement is contagious, leaving a lasting impact. When you're not around, they begin to miss that infectious energy and the inspiration you radiate. They find themselves eagerly anticipating your next story, the next wave of passion you'll bring to your conversations. In your absence, there's a noticeable void where that vitality once flowed. By choosing to live with purpose, you present yourself as someone constantly evolving and growing. This ever-changing journey keeps your presence fresh and engaging. When you're not there, your partner misses being part of that exciting path. They miss sharing in your victories, challenges, and dreams. So lean into your passions and allow your purposeful life to become a shining example. Show them you're someone who cherishes life and is determined to make a meaningful impact. And keep in mind, when you live with purpose, you'll remain in their thoughts, not just out of love, but out of admiration and a deep appreciation for your zest for living. How does practicing emotional moderation make someone miss you more? It's about establishing a sense of balance and control in the emotional dynamic of the relationship. Thoughtful and restrained emotional expression adds depth and clarity to your interactions. By maintaining emotional moderation, you avoid overwhelming your partner, whether through intense declarations of love or outbursts of frustration. This Stoic approach empowers you to navigate relationship challenges with grace and emotional intelligence, elevating the quality of your emotional connection. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed that the best revenge is simply to be unlike the person who caused you harm. Applied to relationships, this suggests that rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally, you respond with calm, intentional words and actions. Imagine handling a disagreement with patience and clarity. You express your feelings in a genuine way, but not in a manner that feels overbearing or impulsive. This sense of emotional poise allows space for desire and thoughtfulness to grow. Your partner comes to understand that your feelings are real, not just fleeting reactions or emotional impulses. When you're not around, they begin to yearn for that emotional steadiness you bring. They miss the calm confidence in your presence and the way your expressions of love feel meaningful, not rushed or exaggerated. Emotional moderation doesn't mean shutting down or being cold. It means mastering your emotions instead of letting them master you. This inner strength is deeply attractive and cultivates a foundation of trust and admiration. Strive to strike a harmonious balance in how you share your emotions. In doing so, you'll enhance the richness of your interactions and become someone who leaves a lasting, peaceful presence in their life. Remember, in the rhythm of love, it's often the softest notes, the composed and quiet moments that echo the loudest and linger the longest. How does displaying resilience during hard times make someone miss you more? It's about showing that you're capable of navigating life's inevitable challenges with courage and grace, creating a sense of stability and comfort that your partner finds deeply reassuring. Resilience in adversity means facing hardships directly without collapsing under the weight of them. This ability to stand strong not only builds your own character, but also portrays you as someone dependable and unwavering, qualities that naturally draw others closer. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once said that a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a person perfected without trials. This timeless truth highlights that overcoming difficulties not only strengthens you, but also makes you more admirable. Think about a situation where you're faced with significant personal challenges, and yet you stay composed and tackle your problems head-on. This measured response garners both respect and deep appreciation from your partner. They witness not just your ability to survive, but to thrive, and that memory lingers even when you're not physically with them. When you're away, the image of your resilience provides a comforting presence in their mind. They recall how grounded and strong you remain in turbulent times and miss the peace and strength you bring into their life. Resilience isn't simply about enduring hardship. It's about emerging from it stronger, with hope and determination intact. It's about maintaining a forward-moving mindset, seeking solutions, and not giving in to despair. This strength is incredibly attractive. It draws your partner to you not only because they love you, but because they are inspired by your ability to remain composed under pressure. Consider how this resilience shows up in your everyday life. Maybe you lose a job, but immediately take proactive steps to find new opportunities, staying hopeful. Or perhaps a family emergency arises, and you manage to provide support to others while also maintaining emotional clarity. These instances define who you are and leave a powerful impression. When your partner witnesses this kind of resilience, they see you as a rock, a steady force in their world. This solid presence doesn't just foster respect, it deepens emotional intimacy. They begin to treasure your role in their life as someone who offers stability and dependability. The more they experience this, the more they miss your strength during your absence. Additionally, resilience involves holding on to a positive outlook even during dark times. While it's easy to be upbeat when everything's smooth, the real test is how you carry hope when things fall apart. That quiet optimism becomes a guiding light, not only for you, but for your partner too. It uplifts them, and they miss that sense of reassurance when you're not there. Moreover, demonstrating resilience during challenging times also means maintaining a hopeful and positive mindset. It's simple to stay upbeat when everything is going smoothly, but genuine resilience shines through when you're able to see light even in your darkest hours. This kind of optimism is powerful and has the ability to lift your partner's spirits when they're feeling down. When you're not with them, it's not just your physical presence they long for, but also the hope and positivity you bring into their world. By embodying resilience, you show that you're not merely surviving the storms, you're rising above them, becoming stronger with every step. You become a beacon, someone who not only withstands adversity but leads others by example. This makes each moment you spend together more special and profound, as they eagerly await the comfort and inspiration that comes with your presence. They begin to associate you with feelings of security, strength, and hope, all of which are essential in a healthy and loving relationship. So embrace life's challenges as opportunities to reveal your inner strength and emotional steadiness. Let them see that no matter what life throws at you, you remain grounded and unwavering. Keep in mind that showcasing this kind of resilience keeps you alive in their thoughts, not just as someone they care about, but as a powerful force of love and stability in their life. Your resilience becomes the bedrock of the connection you share, making you irreplaceable and someone they deeply long for when you're not there. Now, let's talk about consistency in character. How can staying true to who you are make someone miss you even more? It's about being a steady, dependable presence in their life while still retaining enough intrigue to keep things exciting. Consistency in character means you don't change with the wind. You are the same authentic person day in and day out, and that predictability builds a strong sense of trust and security in your relationship. As the philosopher Epictetus once advised, first determine what kind of person you want to be, and then take action to live that truth. This commitment to personal integrity means your partner knows exactly who you are and what to expect from you, and that's incredibly reassuring. Imagine how this unfolds in your relationship. You're someone who lives by your principles, follows through on your promises, and consistently treats your partner with respect and care. That kind of reliability doesn't just make you a great partner. It makes you someone they truly depend on and treasure. When you're consistently kind, honest, and supportive, your partner can relax into the relationship, knowing they can count on you. And when you're not there, they feel the absence of that dependable energy. Your steady character has become an essential part of their emotional world. But being consistent doesn't mean you become boring or completely predictable. There's still plenty of room for fun, spontaneity, and surprise. It could be a spontaneous date night, a small but thoughtful gift, or a funny message that brightens their day. These little surprises layered on top of your solid foundation keep the connection alive and dynamic. You become the best of both worlds, reliable and exciting. Think about the deeper impact of maintaining this consistency in values and behavior. Your partner knows that no matter what uncertainties life throws at them, you'll remain the same supportive, loving person. That kind of stability is rare and precious. And when you're not around, it's this steady presence they miss, the one who brings calm, love, and reliability into their life. But the occasional dose of spontaneity ensures that the relationship doesn't fall into routine. It's like keeping the fire burning steadily while also adding a spark now and then to make it dance. Maybe you plan a surprise weekend away or leave a heartfelt note for them to find. These small acts show that you're not just consistent, you're also capable of delighting them in unexpected ways. This thoughtful combination ensures they look forward to both your grounding presence and the joy you bring through these delightful moments. They don't just miss your constancy, they miss the energy, creativity, and joy that you inject into their life. So, let consistency in your character be the strong, dependable core of who you are. And every now and then, let a spark of spontaneity bring excitement and fun to the relationship. This blend makes you someone who isn't just missed for being solid and trustworthy, but also anticipated for the little surprises that make life beautiful. Being on their mind tomorrow means building a relationship rooted in trust but kept vibrant by moments of wonder and joy. Your partner will admire the stability you offer and look forward to the unexpected happiness you bring. In closing, fully embrace the importance of character consistency while leaving room for moments of playful unpredictability. It's this special mix that makes you unforgettable and deeply missed. Your partner will treasure the dependable foundation you provide and look forward to the exciting little things you do to keep love fresh and alive. This dynamic ensures that you're not just remembered, but deeply cherished, always occupying a special place in their heart and thoughts. Before you head out, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Be part of our community here at Power Stoic Habits, where we dive into powerful lessons on how Stoicism can enrich your daily life. And hey, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and type "on their mind tomorrow" to show you're committed to becoming someone who's not just remembered today, but every day. It's a simple, fun way to affirm your journey, and who knows, your comment might just be the first thing someone thinks about when they wake up tomorrow. Your support helps us grow and reach more people who could use the wisdom of these timeless Stoic teachings. It also lets me see who's really putting these ideas into practice and transforming their relationships with purpose and heart. Thanks for watching, and always remember to keep those Stoic values close, stay grounded in your truth, and let your character be your compass. With these principles guiding you, you won't just be remembered, you'll be impossible to forget. Becoming someone who is missed is about enriching your own life and becoming the kind of person who leaves a lasting impression. Every principle we explored today is a step toward building richer, more enduring relationships that can stand the test of time. Until we meet again, keep cultivating the habits that make your life not only valuable, but truly unforgettable. Stay strong, stay resilient, and let your unique Stoic grace shine through every interaction. Your path to becoming someone who's deeply missed starts now, and I can't wait to see how you make it real. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.